Here we are. Once again, another week.
Once more, Into the Breach.
I need to play that game actually, Into the Breach more. That was a good game.
Hello, everybody. Hello, chat.
Hope all of you are doing well in chat. And yeah, I know that the summer game show is going on right now. I literally didn't know that was going to be happening until 10 minutes before the stream. Don't worry about it.
Fuck them, I say.
Fuck him. Yeah, this is more. Fate is more important.
Imagine doing anything but this right now. Couldn't be me.
You've been back on the Fast and Light train lately. I love that game a lot too. It's been a while since I tried to run.
I got really into a playstyle and with the stealth ship, and then I couldn't play literally anything else. Like, I kept trying to play any other ship, and it's not the same.
Oh no. My problem with those kind of games is that I need to get every single unlock, every ship, every challenge with every ship, all the time. I need everything. I'm a completionist to my fucking core. Shoutouts to my run of Isaac that has been going for a few years in trying to 100% that fucking game.
I feel like for me, with literally any roguelike, I settle into my little tiny playstyle that I love, and then I refuse to change. In Risk of Rain, I can't play anything but Huntress or Acrid. Like, I know what I'm about. I don't care about all this newfangled stuff, these weird options. I'm never getting these achievements. Give me my run.
To be fair, with something like Risk of Rain, you also have like a character action shooter thing going on that, like, it's fair maining specific characters, I think. You named yourself after your niche in Isaac. Yeah, baby.
Oh
Hi,
my God,
Eve.
that's right.
You're a completionist and you play gachas. It's Sergio over. Ooh.
We've been playing Night Rain together, and I can't play anything but Executor because I need to parry.
Meanwhile, I've been really vibing with the recluse. What a surprise! The mage likes the mage.
I never would have expected that from you, honestly. Shocking.
You usually play accurate, but that's just more because you like the bitey. The bitey is very good.
Mad respect.
Someone's baby. Ah. Let me get us over to the stream screen, and I'll be getting the game up in a second. Thank you for your patience.
Very exciting. Oh, I see.
Today is the day.
We have the most important shit on the sidebars.
We finally are capable of having this fucking woman here. I need you to understand that she is the little icon of the game.
The whitest woman spotted.
The whitest woman spotted, which is weird because, like, Saber exists, Illy exists.
And yet, somehow whiter.
You know, okay, I don't know if you know because that's like I know you have only recently gotten into Deltarune stuff, but just like Gaster has the darker yet darker, she's whiter yet whiter.
Yet whiter.
86%. We just got the second opening. It doesn't feel like 86%, right?
That percentage is a fucking lie.
Like, my understanding is that we likely did a lot of things that maybe the game expected us to do after that cutoff point because we left the plot until the very, very ending.
Like, okay, that is true, but there's no way that percentage isn't a little misleading.
It's definitely misleading because what I know about this game is that the scenes just keep getting longer.
The whitest woman in history versus the whitest woman of today?
That is so funny. That is so funny too because these fucking two games were a year apart.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Also, what are we talking about the whitest woman of today and history without bringing Jean Alter here? Come on.
She deserves to be represented.
We're
Hello,
starting with your husband. Everything okay, chat? Volume okay? Everything okay? At the
I
harbor.
just get my mic closer, so.
At the harbor, there's a familiar face. Lancer can be found anywhere, but in the afternoon, this is where he devotes himself to his hobby. Well, what should I ask him about? What is he doing? We have a new one. The sky is clear. The autumn mood is covered by the intense sunlight. The soft ocean breeze gently caresses my face. Only the screeching of seagulls breaks the peaceful silence of the dogs. Without argument, this is a perfect location. As if this harbor was a symbol of peaceful city for Yuki. However, right now it is bustling like both New Year's and Lantern Festival put together. Why the fuck is Gilgamesh here too? Has Gilgamesh also joined into the fucking fray?
I cannot get over Arsher in the fishing cap. That is the funniest thing in the world to me.
I like, we never see the front of that cap. There is no reason not to imagine him with the women fear me, fish love me cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
The three boyfriends. This is not the polycule I had in mind going into this today, but I will accept it, I guess.
It's the polycule. It's not the polycule we deserve, but it's the polycule we need.
Let's go, King of Heroes. Do you have enough rods in stock? Wait, there's more? Not to mention who, no, what more. His silhouette waving his high-grade rod like a big catch banner is without a trace of a doubt. Amazing, Gil! That a fish? That's a fish! Whoa, fishy! Give me one! Gil, rod 3 is shaking! Can I pull it up? The guy over there, his rod is so cheap. Gil's golden rods look so cool. It's silly, maybe.
It's censored.
Gil, where is this week's Shonen Jump manga? Mason, you got so many! Gil, can I throw that fish at that guy? What a bad influence you are on the fucking juice today.
Lancer's going to kill them.
Be quiet, you mongrels! You're bothering the losers around you! It's fine, Jiro. Not just one fish, you may take 10 or 20. Mimi, there's nothing to be afraid of. I won't get angry, so go ahead and pull it. Imahisha, I won't get upset from hearing the obvious, but I like your taste. You may go buy some popsicles with this. Kanta, wait until I finish reading my jump first. Kora, that is a mad dog. Be careful when you hit him. Who? I guess that's the children's hero? But what a letdown! I heard there was someone here who called himself the best. And what do I see instead? Some guard dog and a faker. Nothing to compare to a king like myself.
Lancer is quietly, like, weighing up his options right now. Deciding whether or not the crash out is justified.
He is, like, about to pull on the string of the fishing rod and make it into a bow to shoot at him from the back. I am the bait of my lure, polymer is my line, and carbon is my rod. I have caught over 1,000 fish. Shut the fuck up, chat. The hero laughs happily. From time to time, the kids pull on his cheeks or hair.
Relying on numbers to win like always. And then you go and shamelessly spend big bucks on the latest equipment. What a disappointment. Relying on tools. How lousy of you, King of Heroes. Didn't he do that?
Surrounded by children, the red man defiantly pulls in another fish. Wait, you're one to talk!
Okay.
The hypocrisy is so funny. Oh, but you're using a special order brand Super Auto Motion Reel yourself, aren't you? Interesting. But even though your reel is better, my rod is still the best of the best. Let us compete and see whose equipment is superior, you lowlight. They are. It's a rod fight indeed.
Fellas, please. I will judge whose rod is better based on your performance. The legendary brand Thunder 2006. The rod whose production was cancelled during the test phase. How did a bastard like you?
That's my dad's. Gil said that if I can steal it, we'll play together. Yay, love the kids. And then there's the blue guy who still hasn't said anything.
I can't believe these innocent children are being used by you. And you call yourself a heroic spirit. Fine. Winner keeps the rod. How about it?
As you wish! Even though I don't want your bootleg rod, I'll be keeping that real if I win. Awesome! Gil versus a pro fisher guy! You don't see this stuff every day. I'm going to call my dad over. I'll lose! Go get him! Good luck, red guy! You can have one of the kids if you want.
Sorry. I'm so enraptured. I'm telling you, no filefish or yellowtail. Catch flatfish. But don't catch octopuses like the guy behind you. Hey, Gil, that's great, but hurry, read the jump.
The harbor's tranquility is now nowhere to be found. The king of heroes, popular beyond all expectations, and the red guy, also somehow liked by the kids. And...
Sure. Oni-chan, are you catching any? Please, give me back my paradise.
Okay, I need to take a screenshot of this one. This is really funny.
I like how the tears are streaming
Down.
that way.
Yeah, like down
like
the
horizontally.
face. Lancer Nissan hanging his head like it's the end of the world. Let's go back. This is no longer a place for the ordinary folk. I leave the harbor behind. Looking up, the sky's brightness hurts my eyes a little. Alas, at least Lancer's lost paradise shall stay forever in my memories. That is so funny.
But this is so real. It's like going out somewhere to like a park for a picnic and there's like a school group there. Like that's their park. You gotta fucking deal with it.
Oh, that's so funny. I think it's just extremely, extremely funny. Okay, is day 2 anything? Oh!
Flopped.
Hi, Caster! Let's do you, okay.
Wow, let's do Caster.
I see Caster. Come to think of it.
Imagine going out in public and the public is there.
When I go out in public, I want it to be all for myself. What are you talking about? That's common. That's
world
usual.
Should be mine.
Sekaide. Come to think of it, it's not unusual to find her meditating here. I wonder if there's something she's thinking about. She did turn me down when I tried...
Did it just hard crash?
Is this the crash in Ryudo Temple you all warned me about?
Is this the crash of 87?
Wait, that's not good.
Caster turned us down alright. I do not want to do my scene.
The voice line crashes the game. If you fast forward through it, it won't crash. Okay.
Oh
Thank you.
God.
Thank you. That's how you get through it. Okay. Don't let her cast a spell.
Take the mage.
Oh, are we back in... I see. Okay, we reverted back, but it still kept the flag that we had done that. That is interesting. It is just that voice line as far as I... Wait.
It was the afternoon because we did the harbor in the morning.
No, the next one is night.
What?
What? Uh-huh? Did we miss a scene? Because of shenanigans?
Well, wait, go touch her.
Oh. Huh. It deleted the new flag on the caster scene. It marked the crash scene as completed to a... Ah, fuck.
Fuck.
I mean, I didn't escape it by accident. It skipped itself because it crashed. Fuck, and that was a plot one too. No, wait.
Go back to that day and it'll be there, they say.
Let me try. Night, call it a day, we get bad ended, we start the loop again.
Lord knows I love getting bad ended.
There is new things on the, but we can check it next loop because I just want to make sure. On this day, she isn't here because it's just that. Well, let's just go next day because it was the next day. In the first time of the day, it wasn't here because it was in the afternoon. But in the afternoon, I could have... Oh, she's back! Okay. Found her. Okay. Skip. Okay. And now we read without that voice line crashing us. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. I see Castor. Come to think of it, it is not unusual to find her meditating here. I wonder if there's something she's thinking about. She did turn me down when I tried asking about the Holy Grail War next time. Maybe now's the right time. Perhaps I could be able to hear the real story from her. Asking for the real story? What am I saying? I've already asked Castor everything I needed to ask. If I question her any further, I might end up touching upon the truth. That is, too reckless. No matter how much she prefers living a peaceful life, she's still a natural-born witch. She will eliminate mercilessly anything that does not serve her interests. And if sweeping away the dust before her, as if sweeping away the dust before her without hesitation. I can't let my guard down. Whilst living among someone whose very existence is something that hurts others, showing any weakness at all is fatal. Yeah, she is the Witch of Betrayal, Medea, an anti-hero revered as the enemy of humanity. I recall the myth, the princess of sorcery who received the teachings of the Great Witch, the cunning witch behind the demise of many countries in the Age of Gods. Princess Medea, the daughter of Aetes, the king of Colchis, the edge of the east of the Greek world on the eastern coast of the Black Sea. A sorceress who received the teachings of Hecate, goddess of magic, a princess who led a sheltered life as a king's daughter. The innocent princess who was raised unbeknownst of the outside world was plenty content with just that. She neither wanted wings to set herself free, nor did she long for the vast outside world. She loved the country she was raised in, and was satisfied with living her whole life in the mountains. However, with the arrival of heroes seeking glory, the girl's hopes were shattered. The captain of the Argo appeared from the outside world. Jason, the hero who arrived seeking the treasure of Colchis, the Golden Fleece, could cause Medea to betray her country. It was because the goddess aiding Jason, Aphrodite, put a curse on Medea which caused her to fall blindly in love with him. Medea betrayed her father, gave the Golden Fleece to Jason, and escaped Colchis with Jason, now her husband. Even as the king of Colchis pursued the Argo to reclaim his daughter, the cursed Medea used magic to tear apart her brother, who accompanied them into pieces and scattered them across the sea. Grieving, the king collected his dead son's remains, and Jason and company used the opportunity to put Colchis behind them. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's Greek myth, baby.
Greek gods doing Greek god stuff.
Like this, the foreign invaders shook off their pursuers. However, it is said the disquieting atmosphere on the Argo did not fade. The princess who represented her homeland's treasure to the man. The woman who went as far as to kill her own brother for the man she loved. The heroes on the boat unanimously castigated the girl who was the princess of Colchis. As if regarding something disgusting and filthy, the heroes avoided the girl. Fortunately for Medea, whose heart was bound by the goddess's curse, she saw their condemning gaze as no different than a mere sea breeze. She was content with hearing only Jason's words. Good like to take Jason?
I'm sorry, but you've done well, Medea.
That's right. So long as she could hear such words from the man she loved, she could endure the hero's disdain. The regret of abandoning her country, the sinful betrayal towards her father, the punishment of murdering her own brother were all things she could withstand, and yet, not once did she hear such warm words from her husband. The return voyage ended without the slightest problem. Jason made the foreign princess his wife and returned triumphantly to his own country of, Yolkos?
That's what
With
it looks
the-
like to me.
Yeah, with the promised golden fleece in hand. But what awaited there was the death of his parents and the annulment of the promise. Once the golden fleece is returned, thy throne shall be recognized. Peleus, the king of Yolkos, who promised this to Jason, cowardly laughed it off as a simple play on words. Fueled by rage, Jason commanded his betrothed,
He's a cowardly usurper. Kill King Peleus.
Though seized by her love toward Jason, Medea was still but a young girl. To the girl who had been shattered by her deed against her brother, Jason repeated insistently, Kill. Kill. Kill King Peleus who broke his vow. Kill the king's relatives. That's right, the king alone will not suffice. Kill that unsightly successor and the 3 princesses too. It did not take long for Jason to prepare the assassination. The king and his daughters were invited to Jason's house. In the center was the witch's cauldron. The girl had been bestowed by the great witch Hecate, a crystallization of secrets and a foundation of mysteries.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah,
The lack of dialogue keeps throwing me off.
I think if it's silent, it must be Jason.
My good king, we welcome you to our humble abode.
Before anyone realized, the end had already begun to draw near. Unable to resist the man she loved and the curse of the goddess, Medea could use her own magic for the murder of the king.
King Peleus, let us feast our eyes on my wife's secret arts.
The man she loved said proudly. The girl stirred the cauldron with eyes wary from crying.
This would be the secret art of rejuvenation, the magic in which my wife is particularly skilled.
Thus spoke the man whom she unknowingly came to love. Unable to oppose, the girl continued the ritual. Let me go back. The hand stirring the cauldron grew ever so tired, feeling like lead. Come to think of it, from the moment she had put her country behind her, had she ever been able to sleep peacefully? Her mind and body exhausted, she continued on as if surrounded by a thick fog. Being this tired made her forget. Being this sad made her dull. Huh. Had she learned magic to do such things? She cut up an aged sheep and placed it into the cauldron. Stir, stir, splash, splash. It melted and disappeared. And then, the aged sheep that had lost all shape and figure revived at the hands of Medea. Its skin brilliant, and its eyes full of life. The aged sheep was reborn a lamb. The king, impressed, requested that he be rejuvenated as well. Then the girl spoke, just as instructed by the man she loved. For that purpose, the body must first be cut apart. This art requires that you die once. The king, fearless, ordered the 3 daughters he loved so to perform the dire deed. The 3 princesses cut their father to pieces. The king was thrown into the cauldron, and then...
I saw it.
No, yeah.
I saw it, those fiendish daughters carving up their own father.
Their father did not revive. The three princesses cried and screamed. The man she loved then bound the women.
The gods will never forgive the sin of patricide. Daughters of King Peleus, take up your own lives.
The three daughters cried and shouted. Why has this happened? They cried out. They pleaded for forgiveness, not from the gods, but from their father, the king who they had killed. The unfamiliar man called Jason did not forgive even one of them. The goddess's curse vanished at that moment. Her clouded heart finally cleared up. But it was too late. Betraying her country, killing her brother, killing the king through trickery, going as far as to let the three innocent princesses die. That day, the girl had undoubtedly transformed into a witch. Let me go back. Jesus fuck, Jason fucking sucks! Like, I know he sucks, but fuck he sucks!
But holy shit!
The splendor of Jason's ascent to the throne lasted but an instant. The people learned of the king's murder, and they drove Jason and the foreign witch out of Iolcos. Jason, who had no place to return to, took the witch and roamed Greece, wandering at last to Corinth. The king of Corinth welcomed Jason and, before long, proposed matrimony with his daughter Glauce. Marry Glauce and obtain the kingship of Corinth? Or keep the witch as wife and continue to receive the king's protection? Jason did not hesitate. Even though he had begotten 2 children from the witch, their bond was not enough to keep him near. What a fucking dick! Jesus fucking Christ! Jason only servant worse than Angry Mango? No! Angry Mango is tolerable. Jason is a fucking asshole.
Angry Mango is a good guy deep down.
Yeah. Jason abandoned the witch and ran to Glauce's side. Please don't go. Please don't go. I threw aside my home and country for you. I gave up everything for you. Have pity, if not for me, then for the children. I beg of you. To the witch, who clung tearfully, the man said,
What are you trying to say? Was it not your fault I lost my country? You terrible foreign witch. I never loved you even once.
Before she knew it, home was too far. All hopes lost, she stepped onto foreign soil. Let me go back. And so, at the end of a long journey, her only desire was born. But how could it be granted? Everything was but a dream of paradise. The girl became a hideous witch, and even upon returning home, not a single soul could believe her to be the young princess. She had changed too much. Even as the castle she lived out of her childhood in remained unchanged, surrounded by the same greenery. And then, on the day of the marriage of the man named Jason, in the midst of countrywide celebration, Corinth fell. Glauce, the bride, was engulfed in flames, and the hero who was to become the new king was forced again to a life of wandering. The tale that follows is no longer a part of the legend. It is said the young man who led the heroes as the captain of the Argo, while pondering the wreckage of the ship, was crushed to death by its fallen stem post, and that the girl he brought home with him became a witch and continued to wander the lands of Greece. Even now, she gazes over yonder from the ashen shore. The many sins she had accumulated. Let me go back. And the many dreams she had left behind. Let me go back. Though she knew those wishes could never be granted. I want to return to my country before I die. As though in atonement, the woman continued to hope. Oh boy!
This contextualizes so much about her and Soichiro's relationship in a way
Honestly,
I'm
right.
obsessed with.
Yeah, this sentence overcame me. As if having seen a fragmented dream. That's right, wasn't I gonna ask something? I'll be alright. So long as I'm careful, a conversation should be fine. It's akin to jumping into a lion's den out of curiosity, but this time the witch seems sated. Surely she'd overlook an unpleasant question or two to kill sometime. Back again so soon? I don't know what you intend upon, but you sure have guts. I'm sure you know how dangerous it is to approach me when I'm alone. Wow, though. You may be incompetent for not noticing this parallel before. Nah, I don't think it's, I don't think there's anything incompetent about it. Sometimes you just don't realize, you know? Just as she says herself, being near Castor when there is no one else around is unquestionably dangerous. The real hazard is not the fact that she can use magic without the concern of prying eyes, but the fact that she cannot control her emotions while not under the scrutiny of others. Once Castor snaps, there's no way to stop her. She may act like a calm witch if an outsider were present, but when left alone, her feelings run wild. Well, people do call that being emotionally unstable or delusional. No, there's just something I've been curious about. You look like you were in a good mood, so I thought I could take the chance to ask you. The atmosphere grows, ever so slightly heavier. I guess she's already figured out what it might be about. Whatever it could be, I don't suppose it could be anything pleasant. It's just a question. I definitely don't want to overstay my welcome, so I'll just get to the point. I know you have no intention of doing anything about the current situation. I've got nothing to say about that. But there's just one thing I could like to know. For someone as skilled a sorceress as you, figuring out something like these 4 days should be a cinch. So to be honest, don't you know the truth behind what's happening already? How very interesting. I should know all of the workings behind this, you say? A broad grin spreads across her face. It's the polar opposite of the smile from before. A smile that carries an unmistakable omen of death. Unfortunately, you're way off, boy. It is true that at first I had tried all possible means and seemingly almost grasped the root of it. But my current self is still one step away from that. The play ends when all is known, doesn't it? That is why I cease the search and just let it be. Huh. So you stop there. Isn't that the same thing? It means that you pretty much know already, doesn't it? Indeed, but I have not told anyone yet. Because if the culprit is found, then the whole affair could end. And since the culprit can't do anything, we have no obligation to forcefully capture them, either. I see. There are no victims, so you're just spectating. You're quite a passive character, aren't you? Then, we'll just be a spectator from now on as well? I believe I have already told you that I have no intention of getting involved. But when the end comes, I cannot say that will be the case. If it were to end, then I won't be silent. Rather, it's not me, but my master who won't. Well, it's the same thing in the end, sighs Castor. She may be known as a treacherous witch, but her obedience to her master, Kuzuki Soichiro, is absolute and unwavering. Well, you could also say she's head over heels for him. He seems to think she's not been found out yet, but it's a well-known fact to everyone aside from Kuzuki and Castor. The moment Kuzuki Soichiro says, "Assist me" to Castor, she could obey regardless of what it was. You said you wanted to continue like this, but should Kuzuki-sensei tell you to settle it, you could still help? That's right. I won't interfere with the culprit, but I won't cooperate either. No, I can't do that. Whether it ends or does not, there's nothing for me to do about it. Did you get it? That's why you're an eyesore. If you want to continue, then you should let it continue until you grow tired. Yet you yourself are trying to interfere. Seriously? How many times have I thought of killing you? Wow. Oh, what do you mean Lies of P DLC out right now? Okay, thank you. Thank you, chat. This is very good information for me. I know what we're doing today, Perry. No, wait, Ferb. Why did I say Perry? I completely butchered the fucking Phineas and Ferb reference. Oh. What? 1 second. Important. Shiro gay spotted.
Very important Shiro noise.
Just for the record, was that a joke? Oh my, you ought to know whether I am capable of making jokes already, don't you? My back freezes twice over. I knew it wasn't a good idea to stay here for long. I understand that you're nothing but a bystander. I just want to end this talk here, but say... Why didn't you kill me? Just once would have been fine. Well, no, not really. Since it's Caster we're talking about, you'd think she'd lose it and skewer me at least once already. No reason in particular. My master never wished that to happen, that's all. I do like Shiro being like, so like in all of these tableaus, why haven't you killed me even once? Like, come on, please, please, please.
Like, you could have. Like, it would have been, like, fine. And he's, like, twirling his hair.
Like, why don't you impale me with big spikes and control me with your magic and make me explode from the inside out?
Or something, I don't know.
She declares, what if you tied me up like Saber in that one scene and put me in the same dress?
Whoa. Hey, that's pretty good.
She declares flatly. I smile at her graciousness. I see, I guess so. One last thing I'd like to ask. Suppose that Kuzuki Soichiro notices this abnormality. What do you think he'd do? Will he try to solve it, or will he leave it as is? Say, what really happened to the two of you? For an instant, the air is completely frozen. I could have died 4 times within 3 seconds. Caster, restraining the magical energy that could kill me with just a glance. He could resolve it. Soichiro's conscience is different from yours, boy. But he's still someone who will correct what he feels is wrong. Her answer has a shadow of sadness in it. I see. So your master is like me. I say that to myself in reverence, as if to let out the melancholy that had built up in my chest. That is wrong. It is you who is like Soichiro. Her reply echoes with pride. Then we'll leave it at that. Sorry for bringing up something so trivial. Please feel free to just stay here and be as indifferent as you want. You don't have to tell me that. But, oh well. To show respect for all the hard work you're doing alone, I'll see you off when everything is about to end. I'm dumbfounded. Her words leave me speechless. What's with that face? Do you not understand what I'm saying? When the final moment comes, I got it! You mean you'll give me a hand? I will no doubt be relying on you. Frankly, having you two helping me might just become my best encouragement. Can't wait for us to forget about this and her to come up in the 11th hour and do something cool. I leave Caster's garden. She fixes her robe and sends me off. What an unpleasant subject. Even though she was in such a good mood. There was just one moment where she looked like her past dominant self. Oh, that was a really good shot. Oh. What really happened to the two of you? The boy who said that is already leaving. The witch conceals her body with a black robe and, rather than disappearing, stands completely still. Someone who is like someone. Someone who is alike to someone. I see, your master is like me. Present that is like reality. The illusion that resembles reality. That is wrong. It is you who are like my master. The disjointed thoughts swirl together and dissolve. A muddy mess. Scenes of the present world that have already become the memory of another. Memories from when she still lived as a human, and a bad dream she had just seen a little earlier. Like the cauldron where the old sheep was boiled, the dead and living are mingled together. What really happened, you ask? Which bites her lip ominously. Perhaps an evening shower. Thunder can be heard in the distance. The sound of rain hitting the trees evokes a vision of the scene where they first met. Even if she gives into frustration, only one thing comes to her mind. That day. The dried out palms of the man that grasped the hand of the foolish woman who had never been chosen by anyone. Rain. Rain is falling. She looks down briefly, only to see that the hand is covered in blood. Straining her ears, she could hear ragged breathing. A body frozen like ice, and her head frighteningly blank. Rain? Rain. It's rain. A body threatening to vanish, her reason threatening to collapse. The sky she looks up at is high. She calls for help and receives none, and the fading body grows ever colder. But tonight is different. Her magical energy is running out. There are few spells at her disposal, and none to secure a vanishing life with. No, to begin with. Because the night when the cold rain fell was warmer and filled with light. His death was nearly instant. This is the story of one man. It begins about 25 years back. The story of a lethal weapon that was tempered for nearly as long as he lived. Oh, we're getting backstory for Kazuki!
Interesting.
He did not know what that group was he did not know what that group was right up until the end. In the middle of a secluded mountain, amidst a community that gathered and lived together like mountain ascetics, he came into existence. Without parents or siblings, he was born as a child with no connections whatsoever. It might be more accurate to call it an emergence rather than a birth. The baby grew up in the midst of that gathering. Fortunately, he was pure. Even though that wasn't much of a place for living. Even though that probably wasn't how people lived. He, who knew naught of the outside world, accepted that gathering. 20 years since then. He did not leave his allotted 10 square meters of forest, and continued to temper the one technique he was bestowed with. Around the age of 10, he was told that the community was a factory, a place where the necessities of daily life are mass-produced through the work of many. Since he had no experience in creating things, he didn't have to wonder which side he was on. He had no objection to the fact that he was a daily necessity. Instead, you could probably say he was relieved. It could have been strange otherwise. All day long, he single-mindedly repeated the same steps. No need for variety, just perfect. This one action, said the... That's the same as being a tool. They consented to the fact they were tools being used by total strangers, and further polish their function. To put it another way, those unable to come to terms were grief-stricken, became unable to keep up with their daily work, and disappeared even from the memories of the tools. It was shortly after that when he guessed his own function. Extra knowledge was driven into them for when the time came. Daily necessities, though they may be, they had to become pseudo-humans to manifest their function. The knowledge necessary to function as a human. While considered an excess, it was rare for them to be used without that knowledge. Although it could seem for against including extra functions, it was something unavoidable. To him and to it was no doubt an agonizing decision. Knowledge that he hadn't been taught until then. Things that are common knowledge for a human. Things that could make him inconsistent if learned. It was only dead weight to slow him down. However, thanks to that knowledge, he learned the name of his function. Murderer. To be detected by no one, to kill the victim before they are even aware of it. That was the function expected of him. Being a fast learner, he left his 10 square meters of forest and came to serve more frequently at court. This is really interesting, actually.
I'm so compelled.
Some cult bullshit going on. But even that happened only once a month or so. There, he learned of the cost of perfection, and the appearance of who were using him. The court was an immaculately clean place, a building where demons were said to live. The place rumored to be a hellish pandemonium was in fact a spotless white void. Scraps of tools that didn't listen to and were disassembled while alive, and the remnants of those who brought shame to and had their brains transplanted into animals as punishment. Jesus fucking Christ!
This is so fascinating.
And the fish tanks packed with flesh of the children who were gathered for the comfort of nothing. None of it was there. Those were all things that certainly happened, but they had nothing to do with this place. In this pure space, having known not one speck of guilt, as an ineffective form of staving off boredom, aiming for nothing but the expansion of tonight's menu by a mouthful. Exchanged completely unrelated human lives for money. Please save me. I don't want to die. Please let me go. Those pleas were to be all laughed off as filthy and silenced. And so, without even noticing, the ones exploited realized something in their final moments. These humans were speaking a different language all along. They were both living beings, yet their hearts were created differently. Things like the voice of the dishes lined up along the dinner table did not exist to them. To the voice of other humans could never in a lifetime reach them. This is not a matter of limited just to the court. Thus said the ones who oversaw him. Those are the privileged few who use us tools. This world is governed by humans who are not humans. Oh, that is a sentence. Okay, I need my titty pills. One moment. I am letting it linger there.
I see.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly, Feifei. You said it best. I maybe would just append like a 100 emoji.
He was told his function was to kill just one person for them. He didn't think that was evil. Mentally, he was already perfect. His morality was bred for the convenience of the... To him, murder was not evil. If anything was evil, then it was actions that were not logical. The logic of a tool. The logic of existence. Simply put, if an ink brush loses its use, then that is evil. If something made for killing people overlooks its target, that is injustice. If you put it that way, were not doing anything wrong. They were creatures that had been given such preferences and privileges to begin with. If they cared about their slaves, then the reasoning by which the world was managed would not stand. And that is how he was taught. While he witnessed the cruelty, he did not detest them. If there was something evil, it was just one thing: do not doubt one's own function. That should have been what was correct for him, yet for some reason he still thought about it. What if he were to be given a function altogether different from this one? He thought of things that could be nothing but evil, like what kind of tool he could then have become. Toward his function, his daily routine continued. The art bestowed upon him was a fighting style called Snake, but he perfected it many years ago. Nevertheless, his daily routine did not change. No new techniques could be given to him. He was simply created as a snake tool. However much capacity he had, there could be no meaning in adding other functions. And like that, another 10 years passed, and he reached the 20th. Finally, nearing his expiration date as a tool, he was given a chance to exert his potential.
Your perfection cost 20 million in time and money.
If there was anything different there from other organizations, that could be it. No matter what type of tool they were, no matter what kind of function they had, a one-man, one-kill rule was strictly observed. The exact same end awaited both outstanding talent and average junk.
Tool that costs 20 million should do work worth 20 million.
Profits will be taken. You will not be used twice. Kill yourself after fulfilling your duty. Those were their absolute rules. Ordered to kill this person, he underwent training beyond human comprehension, and then, having finally perfected the technique after 10 years of practice, he will display it only once for putting an end to everything. He obeyed in silence. It was said the target laid out layer upon layer of defenses. The social position necessary for smoothly making contact could be provided by Dick. After that, he just had to proceed with his body alone. Proceeding empty-handed was done solely to make it easier to make contact with the key individual. When they leave the forest, they are promised death. A journey to die, regardless of their success or failure. Feelings of happiness. Frankly, they were likely there, however faint. Settling a balance of 20 years. Finding out the extent of his function. Even if the outcome was death, there was still plenty to look forward to. Jesus fucking Christ!
God.
The work ended all too quickly. There were none of the expected guards or barriers. When he visited the building to do preliminary inspections for the real thing, he ended up finishing the job. The emotions of that moment were not easy to put into words. What came flying into his chest was nothing. Neither joy nor sadness. Neither disgust nor happiness. Shouldn't there be something? He thought his function could be accompanied by some emotion, but not a single ripple disturbed his mind. If only. Suppose something did move within him at that moment. Couldn't that make him a different being altogether? If there was happiness, then on to the suicide. If there was sadness, then on to being a natural-born killer. But there had been nothing. Feelings and so forth, there were none whatsoever in the fruits of the technique he had spent 20 years tempering. There was neither pleasure nor discomfort when he killed. Only the feeling of the puppet-like target's neck breaking was left in the palm of his hand. There was no reward. Nor was there compensation. The shock of taking a person's life was nowhere to be found. Even his function itself seemed strange. Didn't need it. It was completely unnecessary. The murder of his target required no technique whatsoever. It was more like an accident. A level of difficulty that needed no training. An assassination that kids in the neighborhood could have performed. It was all excessive. How on earth could something like 20 years of training have been needed? Dysfunction that was left with nothing. A pilgrimage that was of no meaning to begin with. It's not that doubts had surfaced. There was probably no reason. There was no reason in anything. Before the corpse that he only knew the name of, he became aware of his usual apathetic self.
I'm dull.
Drawing that conclusion himself, he then decided to liquidate the person he was up until then. He did not commit suicide, but instead withdrew from the gathering and became independent. He did not even think about the option of going underground and hiding himself. He quite naturally moved to a faraway town and used the social position that was given to him for fulfilling his function. The personality prepared for him was one of a teacher, but he was able to master the basic knowledge and skills somehow. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
He had no difficulty adjusting to his new role, his completely different life. But there was just one trivial matter bothering him. Like a small thorn stuck in the recesses of his mind. He did not realize what that strange feeling was until the very end. The life that he did not assume could continue for more than half a year, in fact has continued for 5 years. There were none that searched for him, and he himself decided that he could live without regard for his pursuers. It was not that he yearned for a normal life. In the 20 years he lived, he only polished his technique for killing. If the result were something like that, then all that remained was to disappear without accomplishing anything more, he concluded. In short, he had lost the opportunity to find joy in life. Humans spend the rest of their lives fulfilling the hopes they've accumulated up until adulthood. Whether or not they are fulfilled is not the issue. They are, in fact, an anesthesia that can expend time originally filled with nothing but agony. He who had none of this could only continue on meaninglessly. He had neither ideals nor illusions. He decided he could fulfill the duty of living until his own flesh could rot away, until the tool known as himself ceased to work. That could seem to make him a cold-hearted machine, but he was a human no different from those around him. It's just that his inspiration had died. What is dead does not revive. It is not that it's sleeping in the depths of his heart or that it's regressed or anything. It just doesn't exist anymore. No matter how human-like a life he tries to live, he will never in his life feel inspiration. He never thought it to be painful, and the people around him assumed he was strong too. There is nothing wrong with that assumption. But he did make an effort to rot away meaninglessly like this. With his dead heart, he walked the path of hell and endeavored to live among humans. And then, he met that pale woman. He was returning home after finishing the day's work. As he was heading toward the temple gate, he caught sounds coming from the forest. Having been indebted to the temple, he took it as his obligation to see what was going on, and he found a woman covered in blood. The woman wrapped in the black cloak was so weak that it seemed she could disappear at any moment. She seemed so frail that the word vanish rather than die could be more fitting to describe her appearance. Later on, the witch could think. This meeting was a miracle. But the thought was not hers alone. Even if it were an illusion, the impossible happened. The heart that had beat at the same rhythm for tens of years had stopped for just an instant. The interruption had but a minor effect, but it did change the beat. Something that should have been dead trembled as if to stare. Saving someone. Oh, it's all broken people saving people down to the fucking bottom.
Hey, these two are like quickly becoming like favorite characters in this series.
What are you doing there?
The woman had collapsed without responding to his call. Forest in the night, rain, a weakened body, clearly not a decent person. Trivial matters, including a cloak covered in blood. This woman is dangerous. Even if he tried to distance himself from it, he was out of place as well. There was no way he couldn't pick up the scent of someone who was the same as him. Oh! But still, he looked after the woman.
Holy shit.
It was not out of sympathy for someone similar, a fellow murderer that he saved. He helped her because a person had collapsed for him. The reason why he saved her was simply that. The woman awoke in about an hour.
So you've woken up. Can you tell me about your situation?
The woman stared at him, dazed. There was neither bewilderment nor delight. She looked as if her despair of being alive had turned to tears and were about to spill forth.
If what I did was inconvenience, or was an inconvenience, then you can leave. If you tell me to forget about it, then I will.
How did the woman take his words? Did she think she could use him? Or did she let her guard down at his kindness? The woman divulged her background, and he all too quickly accepted her rather peculiar identity. He embraced the woman, and also acknowledged participation in the killings known as the Holy Grail War. Of course, the witch was probably surprised too. The woman's condition was, although slightly, improving. Because while she gloated that she could have, the moment she were rejected, used magic to control his heart, her vile schemes were undone with just a single statement. It's not that he consented to her out of fear, or that he was interested in the Holy Grail. He cooperated with the woman because she had asked for his help. He was a man who saw no evil in murder to begin with. He had no reluctance to becoming a master. However, the truth is that he cooperated to distance himself from the past. If you assume there was a moment of disconnection, then this would be it. He did not realize why he had abandoned the life he had worked for until now and had taken up the woman's cause.
Do your utmost to keep our lives this way. Tell me when you read me.
This was his policy. He has no desires. It was just that the woman he saved wants something called the Holy Grail. If he fights, then it is not for the Holy Grail, but for the woman. Since he promised to aid and cooperate, lending his strength to the woman is a natural obligation. To him, the Holy Grail War was an abnormality, but it was not a wrongdoing. Because to him, evil is defined as something that negates his established function. And so he became the master of Caster. He was a master without command spells, but she obeyed his words. He knew nothing like magic to begin with. She only used him to stay in this world and planned to treat him as a puppet. And he himself did not participate in the Holy Grail War. Rather, he left the fighting to the woman. If there ever was a chance that he could reject her, it could only happen if she denied the Holy Grail War to begin with. As the user and the used, the relationship was perfect. I want to go back. Yet for the same reason, they did not mesh together as human beings. The more the woman began to change her mind, the more of a reason he had to abandon being a master. And the more he experienced her character, the more he broke down as a tool. Oh my god!
This is so
Good?
This is amazing. This is such a unique character dynamic.
I want to return to my country before I die. that sense of nostalgia Elber is. He, who had no place to return to begin with, could not possibly understand it. No. It was an emotion she should not have understood. He should not have understood. The battle ended quickly. What timeline was this? Gilgamesh fought Kuzuki? Hey, ever wonder what happened to Soichiro in the Fate route? Oh my god! I did hear the new Deltarune chapters are out. Do not say a single thing. I'm playing them on Sunday. Zero spoilers in chat.
Can we keep the focus to the thing?
Can we keep the focus? The gatekeeper assassin was defeated by the enemy servant, and the master who went out to face him, too, was defeated by the Rain of Swords. His abdomen was cruelly torn apart. The arms he spent over 20 years tempering vanished below the shoulders. Master! Master! The woman's voice echoed in the temple grounds. The enemy's servant seemed to have left, having finished with the servant and master of the temple gate. Only the woman was left, clinging to the remains of her pallid contractor. Oh my god, he thought right. He could have thought that Kuzuki was Assassin's master, and then he just fucking left. And that prompted Caster to just act immediately and try to get Saber, right?
Holy shit.
His eyes that had lost focus, barely able to discern silhouettes. He looked at her. Seeing that crying face, he found himself lamenting over having done something inexcusable. It was not an illusion that his fading consciousness was showing him. His heart that should not have existed shed blood on the verge of death. The woman wished to return home. The idea of a place to return to did not exist for him. A repeated sense of nostalgia. A place he'd never seen nor heard of. A dream of paradise that he did not even have an impression of to begin with. That he did not know how to take in even in his last moments.
Caster, get away from here. If he senses your presence, the servant just now will return.
He said indifferently. Condition of his body aside, it was a miracle that his spirit was still in good health. Perhaps it was a result of his long days of training. Until the moment his brain stopped working, his mind was clear. What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself! I will definitely heal you! I will not let you die, master! The woman didn't leave. It was a bit illogical. Of course, losing a master to anchor to is a serious blow, but not to the extent that it could result in death. In fact, she had already lost one before. Considering the possibility of being attacked by the same servant again, it could have been best to leave as quickly as possible and search for another master. Do not underestimate me. I am a witch. Patching up a dying man or two is not a problem. A miracle could not happen. The magical energy stockpile in Rito Temple had been destroyed by the enemy servant, and the injuries were inflicted with a mortality curse by their noble phantasm. It's easy. I've done this many times. I will not fail. I will not fail. I will not fail. I've never had any trouble with such a simple treatment. Whilst crying, the woman recited magic as if apologizing. But it was no use. Even the divine words she spoke had lost their usual power. The woman's face filled with more sadness with each passing moment. No, please help someone, please! Please! Oh my gosh, she's fucking... This cannot be. Up until now, I've never failed. Not even once. Neither healing the wounds nor regenerating his body was fast enough. She could not save anything. A witch's role is only to cripple humans. Even if she could cure and animate the dead, genuinely saving a person was simply impossible.
What a fucking CG.
Oh, God almighty. Perhaps it was because she hadn't really tried to save anyone up until now. She had not known of that rule until this very moment. Yeah, I'm letting her voice actress speak for herself. She's very good.
Yeah.
Magic did not work. She called for help, but no aid ever came. The sky she looked up at was high, and she could not stop his failing body temperature. Please don't die. Please don't die, Soichiro! He hears wailing. Looking at her crying face gives him a headache. He realizes that this is because of sadness, and finally, accepted that he could not become a tool. He just thought to live normally. When he murdered a person and became free, he accordingly took up the view that the rest of his life could only be spent away. What a blatant lie. He dared not admit it, but he actually regretted that. He always kept in his heart those meaningless 20 years and the person he'd killed whom he had only known by name. He always thought it was wrong to kill someone who he knew only the name of. That was not a killing born from his own motives. He was not an adult born from his own will. How should he have atoned for his mistake? It had been fun. It was easy to do nothing but hone one single technique, to forget about thinking and be a tool. Being preoccupied with that, he raised 2 lives with a single consideration. Is there any evil greater than this? Even if those who raised him were to shoulder a part of his crime, even if he didn't know a thing. What killed another person was, inevitably, his own hands. The reason why he went on to live was because he didn't know how to atone. He stopped practicing the technique that he could call his one and only purpose, and slowly buried it within his daily life. Wishing for nothing, gaining nothing. That was the best form of atonement he could conceive in his mind. That way of living crumbled after meeting this woman. A pale-looking lady wandering about in the cold rain. She was simply beautiful. More beautiful than any woman he had seen before. That was the only reason. To the beautiful creature, he reached out his hand. Looking back on it, throwing away all those days of atonement he had accumulated and lending her a hand was surely... Sorry. I'm sorry. The woman's voice had turned into a cry. Oh, hey, look, without the blur effect or the rain, too. Ooh.
Some of the best writing I've fucking seen.
Wow.
How is this literally all tell, don't show, and I'm so brilliantly compelled?
In the Tsukihime timelines, these two have a daughter. What do you mean? In the Tsukihime timelines, Medea could not fucking exist. What happens to Tsukihime? That's Nasu, baby.
At this point, I think the less you know about Tsukihime, the better, because it makes everything you hear way funnier.
In Melty Blood, I don't understand it. It is a cancel Suki spin-off fair. The woman's voice had turned into a cry. What he thought was rain was something much warmer. The woman did not leave. Just as that night, arms covered in blood clung to his chest. It is truly sad that he could not see her face anymore, he thought.
I see. I finally realized.
It took too long, but still there was some time. He had, for a long time, wanted to apologize to something. Things he had regretted. Something he had to beg for her forgiveness. Since long ago. To that which he had vaguely carried until now. He had wanted to live for someone's sake. To that pure longing.
Custer.
The woman could not leave. Even though the footsteps of death may have already gotten close. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It seems the apology was directed at himself. That is enough. He could no longer apologize, but in exchange, this woman had done it for him. Only one concern remained. He had to release this beautiful bird back to where it came from.
Custer. What a beautiful image.
Oh, God almighty. The woman could by no means leave him. When he could no longer see anything, in the interval when he could allow for everything.
It's alright. Just go already. You cannot stay here.
Feeling more peaceful than he ever had, he told the woman who clung to his remains. Oh.
Jesus.
Where the woman who was left took off to is already a distant story. The woman was not what he thought her to be. The conclusion was not one he had hoped for. The story of the fallen killer and the witch ends here. If there was any salvation, it was in the brief instant after they had met. The life that lasted less than a month was filled with many times more humanity and tranquility than what had existed up until then.
Jesus.
This is overcame her. As if having seen a fragmented dream. The witch in the black cloak is liberated from the evening rain. She narrowed her eyes at the slight vertigo and looked up at the gloomy sky. No point in being told something I could never do. I didn't even have wings to begin with. But surely, he saw her that way until the end. Even if she had fallen to the ground, her wings were light. Someday they could slow off the dirt and return to the skies. Really, he just doesn't stop to think. Surely there is an occasional migratory bird that takes a liking to the place she landed at and forgets about the skies. Not even consider something so convenient. She smiles ever so slightly at the monologue. As if drifting off to sleep, the witch slowly closes her eyelids. As if to bury herself in the short-lived dream, she held tightly onto this moment from which she will eventually awaken. Oh God. This is yet another fragment. A fragment that has already passed on, broken into pieces, and after faltering for a brief moment within the heart of the bearer, ceases to resist and simply flows away. So that with only the mind, she could not exist. And with only the body, she could not leave footprints. At the very least, the spring that did not come could be admired, unbeknownst to others, at this paradise of a town, Ooh. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Jeez.
That may have
My
been one of
heart.
the that may have been one of the best scenes in the game so far.
I'm astounded. Holy shit, I love them so much. I was unfamiliar with your game. Like, every time we see more of them, they just get better.
Her own spring reference, yes, but in this case, the spring that could not come in any of the timelines that is given here in Hollow Ataraxia as things continue in this abnormality.
Jeez.
If she delves too deep into trying to find the cause, she could be trying to resolve the issue. Why would she want to? This is the only way that they can be together right now.
That's beautiful.
Fist directly into the floor with enough force to crack asphalt. Fuck, dude! Yeah! Oh my god almighty. Do you need a moment?
No,
do we-
I'm good.
Do we want to talk about that?
Fuck, man, what can we even say? Like,
Uh,
that whole preamble about backstory for both of them and then explaining how they came together and their loss, like, just Caster reflecting on everything that has happened to them, contextualizes so much about everything we have seen with
Yep.
them. Also,
Yep.
presuming that she immediately in the Fate route went off to go get Saber, like, right after that,
yeah.
thinking about her getting jobbed by Gilgamesh right after really contextualizes the manic laughter as she's dying.
She realized. She realized that was the same method of death.
Like,
Oh my god.
there are tears streaming down my face right now.
Oh
I'm
my-
so overwhelmed. Oh my god. That was such good writing. I'm
Oh my
so
God.
compelled.
Also, once again, like, okay, Nasu, I understand, but, and I know we still have, like, several games to go through, including, Tsukihime for me and Mahoyo for the two of us, but, like, how many more broken men, trying to find some solace in saving someone are you going to give us, and why is it so good every time?
Give me more, give me more.
I know there's at least one more that we have to discover, but we'll get there.
Shiki's not the same kind of broken man, though. He's kind of like a broken man (parentheses derogatory).
That's what I've heard. Yeah, with some of the scenes with them. So I actually skipped so fast that I don't know if there was something in the evening of this day. So we can either check if there's something in town or go to Ilya after that. What's your mood?
Oh, we could go say hi to Ilya.
Hi, Ilya. Oh, wait.
Oh,
No.
it's just you.
Wait, no, that's just Taiga. 1 second. We've done this. We've done this. We've done you. Right. Each of these count as a different, like, Nah, it's the same quiz. Oh god, wait. It was in 2004, if I recall. Yeah. The Holy Grail of War in the original Fate story is the... I remember
I
when...
want to say 726, but I could be wrong.
do you mean the 26?
I said 726.
I said 26. I thought you said 76. Okay, let's see. Yeah!
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. What's the name of the river that flows through Fuyuki? Is it the Mion River?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think was Makidera-san's ancestor occupation?
What do I think? That's not trivia.
Is there a right answer here? Bandits? Question mark? Rebels? It was stated at the start of FHA. Oh fuck, was it? I think I recall something vaguely. That joke. I think Rebels could be the one used.
I want to say it was bandits.
No, it wasn't. How much is Archer Sun's fishing gear worth? Fuck, man. Inland Sea. Oh, you're right. They mentioned the Inland Sea Pirates. Do you remember how expensive was the fishing gear?
I want to say it was... I want to say 203,000, because I remember it being like a really frustrating number.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that one. And then we skip this. We can stay for the night.
We can fate stay for the night.
Try my best or quietly go to sleep are your options tonight.
Try my best? Oh yeah, also you picked 200,300, not 203,000, which is what I said.
Oh fuck, god damn it. We had missed one.
It, Whack.
Now that I'm alone in here, the first thing I'll do is check out the room. It's not all that bad being shut up in here this way, but the fact that Sela seemed to enjoy it so much is another story. This room is not booby-trapped, is it? No ceiling that will descend and crush me, or briars that will grow out of the floor, or walls that will close in on me, or water that will flood in, right? Well, it seems safe enough. After investigating the room and finding it free of any traps, either modern or antiquated, I feel safe for the time being. Even you're not evil enough to do something like that, eh, Sela? Well, that's good. I'm tired, so I'll turn in for the night. I'll just fall asleep in here. Man is the kind of animal that, if he really puts his mind to it, can sleep just about anywhere. Shiro, are you in there? Ilya? I sit up from the floor at the arrival of a sudden visitor. In through the door comes Ilya. After a glance at my surroundings... What are you doing in the storeroom? Shiro, can't you not relax unless the room looks like your storeroom? Shiro, is this your shed goon away from home? That's so funny, that's so funny, that's so funny! No, this is my room for the night. Looking what must be somewhat desperate, I hold in a yawn as I answer her. Oh, she's definitely shocked now. There are plenty of guest rooms you could have used. Did you ask to stay here because you didn't want to impose by chance? That's not it. Sela just went, this is your bedroom, Emiya-sama, and shut me up in here before I could do anything. Huh? Sela, what have you done this time? Having Shiro stay in a storeroom like this? You said it. I thought she'd at least let me sleep in a bed. Must not, milady. A doghouse is more than appropriate for an underfed dog that may bite you at any moment. Albeit lacking in taste as he is, I'm sure he will voice no objections to it. Ha 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 ha. That was just Shiro's fantasy what Sela would have said, huh?
That is Shiro making up a Sela to be mean to him.
Honestly, this is an embarrassment to me as your hostess. Shiro, I can't allow you to stay in here. Burning with righteous indignation, Ilya pulls me toward the door by hand. But... You must not believe it.
God.
The dark maid appears without a sound. Just sliding out from behind the pillar. Shut the fuck up. What was she doing there? Can these maids just appear at will anywhere in the castle or something? And though her uniform is mostly white, it's certainly appropriate to call her dark. Sela! Milady's most gracious hospitality is entirely wasted on a commoner of such suspicious breeding as this one. Still though, I had originally planned to place him in the kennel outside. I not only made ready this room for him, but went to great pains securing the sleeping bag for his use as well. Wow, she wanted Shiro to sleep in the kennel.
Wow.
By my judgment, this warm demonstration of her unspoken hospitality is well beyond what he deserves. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Sela, prepare a guest room at once. Milady, I cannot let Shiro sleep in such a place. He is my guest. But is it not forbidden for the mistress of the household to allow outsiders to stay so indiscriminately at the castle? Not good. This is turning into a quarrel between Sela and Elia. Pardon me, you two. After clearing my throat to draw their attention, I speak up. Personally, I'm fine with this. Shiro? I have a roof over my head and windows that don't let any draft in. The sleeping bag doesn't even seem to have any holes in it. This is more than enough to tide me over for one night. It's a big step up from sleeping in the forest ruins out there, that's for sure. The sex ruins. The last time you slept there, you didn't quite sleep there, you know?
You know what I'm saying?
You have my admiration. It seems that you possess an unusually discerning eye for quality, I mean.
Jeez.
Sela slowly nods. She seems almost sincere. The keyword being almost. So as I was saying, I will stay here for the night. I got to eat such an amazing feast at dinner. I feel like I can handle anything. Alright. I am very glad to see that we are in agreement, Emiya-sama. Now then, milady, the time has come for lights out. Let us return to your chambers. Good night, Elia. Yeah, see you tomorrow. And notice that neither of them said good night. You've got to admit, as a bedroom, this place is severely lacking in creature comforts. But all I had to do for it is to stop bothering me is fall asleep. The fucking sprite is so funny.
So funny.
Huh? The creaking of a hinge reaches my ears. Just as I was finally starting to fall asleep too. The moment I thought that, I realized someone else has come into the room. Oni-chan, are you awake? Elia? She came here alone this late at night. I am. It's not about what happened, is it? It is. Even Sela's not up this late. We know that because they fucking need to rest to perform, actually. At least, Lace Red needs to. I know you were trying to put on a brave front before, but there's just no way I can leave you in here all night. Elia. She came all this way, alone through the dark of the castle night just for me. Refusing her after all that could be more impolite than anything. What an idiot I am. I should have just said yes the first time you asked me. So where do you want to put me? Somewhere really close. Why don't we sleep together in my room, Oni-chan? Elia's room, huh? So it's good to... What did she say? Sleeping in her room and together at that? No. No. We skipped that internal monologue because I have just seen a CG of this scene, so I am assuming that there's just gonna be a really cute sisterly bonding moment, and I am going to skip the internal monologue, Shiro. You look restless. Nothing's wrong. And yet an incredibly ominous feeling is clinging to me. I can't go, and yet I can't tell her that I won't. Shiro, you hate the thought of going to my room that much? Is it because I held you prisoner there before? No, because that time you had the option of actually hopping into bed, and he was like, wow, these decadent Western beds, jeez. No, that's really not it. If you won't come to my room, I'll just have to sleep in here. Flump. She flops onto the cheap air mattress. I've decided I cannot allow Ilya to sleep in a place like this. I see. Well then, Ilya, did you really mind if I take you up on your offer? Of course not! Hooray, I get to be with Shiro all night! She's in a good mood. If that's all it takes to make her happy, then this must have been the right choice, right? I fucking hope it is, game!
It must have been the right choice. Right, game?
The prison cell, temporary guest room, can't even be compared to the gorgeous bedroom I find myself in. Sleeping here with Ile will be much more relaxing than spending the night in that room alone. So I thought anyway. Shiro, could you face that way? Huh? Obviously can't go to bed wearing this now, can I? I'll be done in a minute. Shiro, do not. That's right, it's different for her. No. I literally do not care about that.
You see the expression and just start mashing. No.
There we go. See? It's just sisterly bonding. It's fine. It's siblings. It's fine.
It's fine. No one make it weird, especially not you, game.
Yeah, it was a little... This CG I had seen before, so I knew that this was a scene that was coming, and I was like, oh, that's cute as fuck. Please don't make it weird.
Please just keep it cute. Please just keep it cute.
There's room to spare. Can I move it closer? That might be. By me. Actually, since the bed is so wide, we ought to get as close together as we can to keep the draft out. And be able to look Zella and listen the if you end up catching a cold because of me. There's something that feels really bad here, right? 1 second, chat.
I feel like...
1 second.
On one hand...
1 second.
You're saying?
1 second. No, do say.
I feel like on one hand, I feel like we're overreacting, but also on the other hand... We've been given reasons to keep our guard up.
I'm so sorry, Fei, but it is really uncomfortable for us. Exceedingly so. Coming here was the right thing to do. This bed is too big and cold for such a small girl to sleep in alone. It's like sleeping with a hot water bottle, I bet. Shiro always strikes me as the kind of guy that could run very warm. Ooh, hot water bottle. Okay, here is the good shit. 1 second. You do things the old-fashioned way around here, don't you? Yeah, it reminds me of something that Mother told me while Kiritsugu was away. She said that it was even colder there than she'd thought it could be, and she missed her hot water bottle. I think I finally understand what she meant now. Like a forge? Yeah! He's a sheath after all, so he's to put swords in, and that's also a forge, so that only makes sense. Also putting swords in him.
Wow.
Ilya nestles closer, rubbing her cheeks against my chest. The way she's holding onto me, I almost feel like a big teddy bear. Speaking of which, this room sure has a lot of them. Do you always sleep with a stuffed animal? Oh, like Bonifacius and Odo? Bonifacius? Can you give us a Boniface with Odil's voice, please?
Boniface.
Thank you!
Lots of mucus in my throat. I can do that better.
I see. She's still thinking of some pretty unique names for them. Ophelia dressed in her pajamas and cuddling up to a teddy bear is a lovely image, but also a very lonely one. It's the first time you've seen in my pajamas, isn't it? Are they cute? I pat her subtly inquisitive head. Aww. Her hair is smooth as and fine as any silk. She smiles under my hand and snuggles up against it. They're adorable. You're like a princess in a fairy tale. It's true! Gentle warmth has begun to permeate Elia's little body. She should be able to drift off into peaceful sleep now. Yeah, I am very wary because of previous experiences. But this is a really sweet CG.
This is in fact quite cute.
This is in fact really, really cute. Oni-chan? What is it? Oh, did you ever sleep together with anyone when you were little? Long ago? Kiritsu had the tendency to take off on long journeys at a moment's notice, so he wasn't around much. And Fujine didn't stay over much back then, so I don't really have any memories like that. How about you? Did you sleep together with your mom, maybe? It seemed like a normal response to her question. But as the words left my mouth, I feel her tighten her hold on my chest. Ooh, trauma. Her body went rigid as though out of fear. I gently stroked her back to comfort her. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. I never had anyone to sleep with either, so I'm a little nervous. At last, the tension fades from Elia's body. Her faint warmth and gentle, sleepy breaths resume. I've always slept alone in this bed, and it gets so cold, but now that you're here with me, Oni-chan, it's so nice and warm. A yawn follows on the heels of her drowsy proclamation. Don't say that. It is like a dream because it's a fucking hollow fantasy. Come on. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Anytime one of you say that it's like a dream, it's because it fucking is. And it hurts every time. Today was just like a dream. It could be wonderful if I could sleep together with Shiro. Every night from now on. I'd be so happy. Half of what she's saying at this point must be sleep talk, but I know she means it. Through her drowsiness, Elia speaks almost as if to someone who's no longer there. Oh, that does hurt. That does hurt. It sure would. Although every night might be a bit of a stretch. I'm pretty sure I toss and turn in my sleep. You'll probably feel pretty disillusioned after tonight. I already knew that. Make sure to face you so you don't have to. So you have nothing to worry about. I feel her wrap me tight in her embrace. The warmth has permeated my body too, and I can feel my eyelids growing heavy. I feel like I'm hearing my own voice from somewhere far away, as though it belongs to another person. You really are hopeless without me, Shiro. Words of the half-asleep Elia tickle my ears. Her body's faintly warm and soft like a kitten's. We should go to sleep now, Elia. You're right. You have another busy day ahead of you tomorrow. Stop! So I'll see you tomorrow, Oni-chan. Sounding well satisfied, her voice fades to a murmur before gentle, sleeping breaths replace it. Feeling her body temperature against me, my consciousness drifts from reality into a happy dream. The night of the fourth day wears on. I lie submerged in happiness, gentle enough to bring tears to my eyes. In the midst of the many ends now approaching, this slumber remains the only point of pure unclouded bliss. Which is why it's a little sad. Because if it is this perfect, the loss when I next open my eyes will be the greatest yet in these many new beginnings. Wog. Oh, stop!
What a beautiful scene.
I'm so sorry we were so wary. That was one of the most beautiful ones yet. 1 second.
The game really kept us guessing, but
That was good. 1 second. Wallpapers. We got a couple of them that I wanna check. Ooh. Ooh.
there was
Okay,
another one.
Here's a really good one for a Castron.
Love that. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love them so goddamn much.
Yeah, baby. The other one was
That one, I think. Or is that one not new?
this one, yeah. Cute.
Something about
There-
the way he's drawn there really looks like Issei to me.
It's great though. He's about to kill the beaver, and honestly, Mood, that's completely fair.
No, he's not. She's about to, and he's just scowling.
I think he could also kill us if he wanted, though.
Can we talk about how amazing these wallpapers are?
Yeah, baby. Oh!
Oh my gosh!
One moment, that one is great.
I would unironically use that on my computer. Like, that's gorgeous.
Ooh, that's great. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Is her arm candy while she's killing us? Yeah, baby.
Real facts.
I love the ears. I love the ears. I love this strand of hair
I
across
love her
face.
big pointy ears so goddamn much.
Bite them. Kazuki, you must bite them. There we go. Woo!
God. We said viewer, your brain heard beaver, something completely different.
Do you want to go
Well.
to church, or should we go to the bridge?
Do you
I think
wanna
the
go-
bridge.
Do you want to go to church? Let's go to the big bridge.
Take me to church. Bridge, they say. Okay.
Bridge, says the people.
In the middle of the bridge, something strange catches my eye. Stopping in my tracks, I observe for a bit. Yet I still have absolutely no idea what this person's doing or even planning to do. So what are you trying to do? Thankfully, there's no one else around. Feeling the need to question this suspicious character, I start climbing up the steel frame to get closer. Huh? Everything's quiet on the upper deck. There are no street closures or anything, yet there isn't a single car to be seen. Oh! There stands the suspicious-looking man. What are you doing in a place like this?
That goes for you as well. Mind telling me what you're up to? Wandering around aimlessly like you are?
You love how casually Shiro climbs that structure? Yeah, baby! Not that this is any different from the usual, but I'm impressed once again. We get along so poorly that it almost ends up being a relief instead. I'm acting well within the bounds of common sense. The sidewalk is down here, you know. What are you doing here? They say that only fools on smoke like heights, so it's not as if you like... Ah, my bad. He does seem like the type. Say, you don't just like being up high for the hell of it, do you?
He likes to be tall.
I'm alright with heights, about as much as an average guy, but not to the point where I'd go looking for them every day. Regular humans could be plain terrified at this height, couldn't they? Something wrong with being a living creature that feels no fear in a spot where one full step could leave you plummeting to your death. Oh, they're not on like the deck itself, they're on like the beams above. Nope, not going to mention any names. So, do you? It's not exactly someone else's problem, so I'd like to be clear on that.
It's just something born out of necessity. My basic interests won't change, no matter how many months or years pass. My employer's the one to blame. Well, how should I put it? From the standpoint of a magus, you should view someone's preference for heights as a strength and leave it at that.
Huh. Looking like neither one of us can stand for the conversation, we both grow silent. I can't help but feel a certain kind of sympathy established between us by those last words. Well then, let's pretend this conversation never happened for mutual benefit for once.
Good idea. Here's some advice. If you do end up taking a trip abroad, try to avoid doing any sightseeing with you-know-who. Bridges are bad luck for you. Even more than towers. Stay away from the kind that might have songs written about them in particular, if you value your life.
That is a fascinating little peek into the possible future.
Stay the fuck off of London Bridge, Shiro.
I'm grateful for the valuable warning, but can that fate be changed?
Well, depending on your effort, you should at least be able to postpone it. It seems like one cannot change their own fate by their power alone.
Bringing about decisive change requires the help of others, is what he seems to be saying. The problem is the only other who seems likely to have any involvement with the Miyashiro's actions on that reportedly unlucky bridge is the very same devil who could push him off. What kind of warning is that? Or like a death sentence? Don't go planning my funeral just yet.
Oh, what's this? You're capable of preparing yourself at least, aren't you? Thames River's pretty harsh in winter. It'd be to your benefit if you train yourself into a really good swimmer.
Jesus fucking Christ. Look at him, with that jolly smile on his face. Don't talk about this like it's someone else's problem, you. Turns out that Archer's white hair is not like any Magecraft thing or like the counterforce. It's just being tired and ragged and old because of Rin being around. Jeez, forget about that. I don't want to talk so far into the future. What I want to hear about is the bridge. I'd like to hear what possessed you to encamp yourself in such a high up place. You planning on continuing the Holy Grail War after all? It's an event that has already come to pass. As a result of a confrontation that had nothing to do with either of us, Miyashiro, unable to cross the bridge, changed into able to cross instead. No longer can Miyashiro be stopped from crossing the bridge at night. However, Archer remains. Does he plan to stay here, continuing this over and doing this over and over again until the Holy Grail War continues?
Continuing the Holy Grail War, huh? Well, I can't deny that I have a certain fondness for those battles with Saber. But my objectives have changed a little. Actually, rather than having changed my mind, I should say I've seen what I have to do.
Huh? Are you talking about fighting the guys trying to continue with the Holy Grail War?
I've had my sights fixed only on that enemy from the start. Observing the town below from the rooftop of the building was just part of that plan. I don't even know how many of those familiars invading Shinto I've shot down by now.
Familiars? You mean those dog-like beasts?
The very same. This'll sound pretty strange, but I have the feeling that the same few days have been repeating themselves. Came to realize it was pointless. When was it again? Yesterday, or else just now.
The reason that Archer realized it was meaningless is something he himself doesn't seem to be aware of. It's as there's no connection between myself from last time and the self from here now. Archer's previous and current actions are similarly unconnected. Very interesting.
Yesterday, Archer.
I see. Either way, it looks like you gave up on the rooftop sniping. Did you shoot down so many of them that you just got tired of it?
Tired of it, eh? It certainly does seem like I've been doing the same thing over and over. However, Even if this day is truly, completely unchanged from yesterday, I never thought it was meaningless enough to make me tired of doing this. If all that mattered was whether I was tired of it or not, I could have kept on doing the same thing for decades.
Even if it went on completely unchanged without a single thing out of the ordinary ever happening?
Naturally. Reality isn't like some book you can read so much that you get sick of it. Even if you're repeating the same thing, it's not like it counts for nothing. If someone who got fed up with that repetition were to exist, it'd only be after going through the same Holy Grail war hundreds of millions, or, hell, trillions of times. Only then he'd start to feel that way.
Archer, your existential dread is creeping up. Going through it trillions of times, huh? But Archer, after really going through that repetition hundreds of millions of times, is most likely tired of sniping. It's the same with me. According to Tosaka, this is less a loop than a restart. But I have no way of knowing just what number I am in the long series of Miyashiros who have failed. Well, whatever. If you claim you've quit sniping, then I'd like to know what you're up to still hanging around here. Gonna demolish the bridge this time or something?
Sorry, I'm yawning a bunch.
The Johnner.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Well, frankly, I'm still not convinced.
He glares in the distance. Those hawk eyes that can see an enemy 1,000 miles away are looking out on Miyama, towards the mountain behind the Rito Temple.
Call it concern. Even if it were true, I sure have no obligations keeping me here. But for now, I think I'll hold on to the advantageous position up here, just in case something should happen.
Hey, are we setting up all of the servants for one final big fight?
That's starting to be how it feels, huh?
Holding on to the advantageous position? Sheesh, you're just itching for a fight, aren't you?
Why am I so sleepy?
Pee-pee.
You're not the one I'm anxious about. Those familiars swarming over Shinto. Judging from what you've said earlier, you've seen them too, right?
Beasts. Seeing them is the least of it. I've been killed by those bastards who knows how many times. An identifiable swarm of beasts. When the fourth day turns to night, they spread over Fujiki City like a black stain until they blot it out entirely. It seems like Archer also treats them as an enemy. I see. So you were sniping from up there with the intention of bringing them down?
Yeah, but I gave up on that. Couldn't defeat them. No, there's no need to defeat them to begin with. They're harmless. They disappear on their own if you leave them alone.
Huh? There's no need to defeat them to begin with? What the hell are you saying? The way they rampage through the city at night, who knows how many people they might kill?
What the hell are you saying? Had they really caused that kind of an uproar, do you think the others would keep quiet about it? I don't know where you got that idea, but there shouldn't have been so much as a single victim so far.
This time for sure I'm utterly surprised. There were no humans killed by the monsters? No, that is correct. That Magus and her serpent don't exist in this town. In the same way, the people killed by the monsters didn't exist here in the first place. Come to think of it, that's true, but at the same time, you can't exactly call them harmless.
They don't kill anyone. They just wander, nothing more. Though they do seem to have a purpose. They're materialized in this city, looking for something.
That's the conclusion the servant who has sniped many thousands of monsters came to.
Now then, There seems to be an obstacle in my path, but I've got a pretty good grasp of the situation. As far as getting in position goes, the top of that arch should do.
Finished with the inspection, Archer leaves the overpass.
Don't loiter around here too long. You're the one at the core of this Holy Grail war. The play will never end without the main actor on stage.
Shifting into spirit form, Archer disappears without bothering to get down to the footbridge. We stand in the empty road, a stage devoid of the actors. The monsters have a purpose. Those words refuse to leave my head. Oh.
What was that little pop-up right then? I didn't see it.
Oh, a wallpaper.
Ah, I see.
There's really interesting things going on right now. We call it a day. Day 2 has nothing. Nothing. The night seems to be empty as well. We really are running out of things to do, huh? Day 3 has nothing. And nothing.
We probably got nothing until we have to go to the church.
Mm-hmm.
The church looms on the horizon.
There is one old alias scene, but I also did want to check if the 4th day also had something left over in the afternoon. Especially because now we know that that new is the fucking taiga scene. Let's go afternoon. Aha! There was! I knew it. It's a ring kind of day today, I think.
It's a ring kind of day.
Also, yeah, I'm thinking about how many hundreds of millions of times and fucking Archer's whole bullshit going on. Oof. It's kinda unreal to think of how daunting it is that this beast of a game is becoming to overcome, yeah? I climbed toward the temple gate. Actually, I've always been impressed by the fact Issei and Kuzuki-sensei climb up and down these stone steps every day. Well, temple monks are said to generally be good walkers. No wonder, living on top of a mountain could certainly give your legs a good workout. Huh? I strained my eyes. I never thought I'd see this red silhouette here. Hi, Miyakon. Were you gonna visit Issei? How about yourself? Sure is brave of you to go inside enemy territory. Issei's cause must be divine. That is why he looks so good in the stockings that Caster puts him in.
Wow. We
exchange appropriate greetings. You're exaggerating. It's not soccer. I'm not playing an away game. This is Issei's home base. He may be no match for you otherwise, but here, the crowd could be cheering for him. The temple is Issei's family home. Kuzuki-sensei and Castra are here too. Castra and Issei may not get along well, but Tosaka is still their common enemy. Entering an enemy maker's stronghold puts you at an overwhelming disadvantage. It's practically a death wish. Yep, I guess my lessons really did have an effect on you. Well done, Tosaka Nuts. Actually, you might have hit the nail on the head. It's not just Ryuro-kun. It seems the rest of his family doesn't much care for me either. My father and grandfather seem to have had a hard time dealing with the people of this temple too. Well, that's just how it is, isn't it? Mega's family remaining on good terms with generation after generation of head monks could be unusual. The two of us were like this even before coming to Homurahara. I wonder if this isn't fate that was decided before we were born. Then let's end this ominous cycle of destiny with your generation. I give a warning to Tosaka, who looks to be getting more serious about her rival. If the Tosaka versus Ryuro feud does become a family affair passed on through generations, she might just try to get a head start now. Also, it's way unusual to hear you talk about shrines and temples. Weren't you a parishioner of the church in Shinto? You're mistaken, Miyakon. Certainly my fellow senior apprentice under my father was somehow a priest, but the moment I realized he was supposed to become a representative of God, any desire I had to practice religion in that church vaporized instantly. I see. Are they implying the monks know about mages? Nah, just the families don't get along, and there may be a couple of underground secrets going on there, as usually happens. Osaka's house is completely Western style, and so is her lifestyle. Moreover, since she will even be studying abroad after graduation, I never even thought religion might be different. But if someone like Kotomine was a priest, then yeah, I doubt she could ever enter the faith. Even I'd be hesitant about it. This line of work certainly doesn't lend itself well to being accepted by any religion to begin with. I don't go around proclaiming to be an atheist though, seeing as it would just attract unwanted attention and distrust. Always best to avoid standing out, huh?
I don't want people to think I'm some kind of redder.
Fortunately in this country, it's easy to pretend being a believer of any faith, and no one's going to scold you over it either. Because almost everyone in Japan could just visit a shrine on New Year's, pay respect during Bon and Higan, and yet also celebrate Christmas. And also, since truly powerful, skilled in the supernatural Buddhist practitioners that can guess my identity do appear from time to time, being unprepared is not an option. Understood? I'll be careful, but really, seeing you at a temple. Come to think of it, Osaka being here is all sorts of wrong. The serene and tranquil log might be more suitable for Sakura or Saber though. Are you still complaining, Shiro? I guess it can be helped. Oh, fuck. I may not look like it, but I'm actually a shrine maiden around New Year's. Eh? Osaka? A shrine maiden? That's the first time I've heard of it. What? Here at Rio Temple! What a farce that could be! When Issei sees me as a shrine maiden, he'll think I'm a succubus violating his god's holy precinct. It will cause a massive uproar. It's a different shrine within the city limits, of course. That's a relief. But why a shrine maiden? With ties to the Tosaka clan, it's necessary to send someone from the family as a shrine maiden. Is there some kind of tradition like that? Connie! Sort of like high priestess of the Kama shrine? No, it's just a nice part-time job to make some extra cash around New Year's. They give preferential treatment to those with experience. I was expecting some grand backstory, so I was a bit crestfallen. It's true though, Issei did tell me that almost all the shrine maidens you see around New Year's are part-timers. Thus, Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples are no big shrines. And Buddhist temples are no big deal to me. Part-time, huh? I guess even you have it pretty tough. I just blurted it out without thinking. I didn't really mean anything by it, but I think I just saw Tosaka's eyebrow twitch. I can still manage without getting a full-time job. Why don't you try it out? A New Year's part-time job, that is. Me? That light blue Shinto priest Hakama getup, huh? No, Shiro? Put the red and white Miko outfit right now.
I think that would fix me.
That's not that far from the archery club uniform, so it couldn't feel that weird to wear. In fact, if anything, if I had to choose, I'd say that putting on a jacket, waving an orange stick, and acting as a guard or guide for visitors seems like a better fit for me. That does sound like it could suit you better. Leaving that aside, since this place is under my jurisdiction, I can't exactly ignore it. I come here sometimes on patrol. Finally, she tells me the reason for her visit. As she says, this is an important site in the ley line, so Tosaka couldn't be able to neglect it just because there's a temple built on top. I see. How about the prayer while you're there? I don't have any business at the main building. I just need to check out the pond in the back and the underground cave. What are you gonna do? She's inviting me to go with her. But if I do go, I think I'd be a hindrance. I shake my head and Tosaka doesn't seem to mind. Alright. Then please go distract Vito-kun so we avoid a clash. Well, if you met with Issei here, yeah, that could definitely cause a clash. Tosaka passes under the mountain gate with a bitter smile. Before crossing the grounds, she looks back at me. You want to see me in my Shrine Maiden outfit? I'll be honest, it's relevant to my interests. Then look forward to it. Giving a smile that fills me with anticipation, Tosaka leaves. Tosaka Shrine Maiden clothes. I'm definitely interested. Rin does a lot of dress up in this game. She sure does!
It's wonderful.
And so much of it is for Shiro.
And then we die. It's relevant to all of our interests.
This seems to be the final thing we have left to do. 30 minutes, I think we can check on Karen. She's the sidebar today, after all. No signs of people in the plaza. House of God stands quiet, no visitors in sight. This place stands far away from the world. Further still from heaven, a place of confessions for the lost. A girl unknown to me is waiting at the church. Whether it's the first time or last, it has no meaning here. She's something that never existed to begin with. She's everywhere and nowhere just like him. The flow of time is irrelevant here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm visiting this place for the second time. I started walking toward the church. Of course, I don't really have any business here. I got all the information I needed last time. It's obvious that this woman is still hiding something from me, but I don't think she will tell me anything more than she did last time. Her help isn't needed to resolve this incident. Really, I have no business here. This is where it's clear that they wanted you to unlock the church way earlier. Whoops, it's fine.
It's fine.
I place my hand on the door while grumbling. There are both good premonitions and bad ones. Without a doubt, the sudden urge to come here isn't going to be a good one for me. The hymn continues. I take a seat and wait for the end of the long reminiscence. The closed garden, the overlapping fingers, the discordant noise, old bitter dreams and weak malice. It's a story from not long ago. The priest that was here 6 months ago could rend open the hearts of people with words and actions. His methods were indirect and coercive. He could seize an opening to trample upon their deep wounds. That woman is the same as the priest. Her methods differ, but this music deprives people of their affectations as well. It's somehow unsettling. This is most likely an incredible performance, but I can't bring myself to embrace it. Alone in untrodden land, counting the breeze, this place is far away, deeper than everything, an empty sky. It says rest your mind and let yourself stop moving forward. It says take a break. If you are tired, you should rest your wings here. That kind of talk is irresponsible. Telling someone to rest when they don't have the power to stand in the first place is like telling them to end it altogether. You must not stop. You must not seek rest. Once you've started, you must fill the cup to the brim. Abundantly decorated, continuing on in circles to fill up every day, the abyss of slumber before the end, the built temple. Fascinating imagery there, huh?
Indeed.
Her performance was over before I knew it. I breathed a sigh of relief once I no longer had to listen to that unbearable piece. And, before I knew it, that woman was standing right in front of me. Hey, nicely done! It was a good piece. I lift my head and, without standing, begin to applaud.
Why, thank you. You have an interest in music?
Yeah, I got into it recently. If you investigated me, you'd probably know this already, but I actually don't have a lot of hobbies. I only really started listening to organ music after I met you. How'd I put this? I guess it just goes to show how well you play.
I just spoke my first full sentence in her voice and realized she's the first woman I've voiced all day. I was like, oh, this sounds more like my natural speaking register. What the hell?
Apparently, my blatant flattery paid off as Karen nods satisfied.
Though you weren't even listening.
And brazenly complains under her breath. You noticed? Judging by her reaction, she must find it meaningless to even answer. Well then, this silence is a bit awkward. Somehow, time goes by. I didn't care about talking with her in the first place, so I'm completely okay even with this unpleasant silence. I settle into my seat and squint toward the sun rays beaming through the skylights.
Just to confirm, didn't you say that you had no further business with me?
Yeah, I did, but this is a church after all. Are you saying I can't come here unless I have business with you? I immediately respond to her unspirited question.
That's right. I cannot refuse those who have lost their way. And again, you are not exactly a lost lamb.
A sacrificial one, perhaps?
I'm more like a sacrificial one.
That's harsh. Can't really argue with it, though. Yeah, I got nothing I want to confess, so I guess I really have no business with you.
Then we have nothing in common, do we?
Our conversation ends on that note. The church fills with silence once again. She ought to understand my stance here, and yet Karen stands unmoving in front of me. We haven't got any business with each other, so she could just leave me alone and go back to her room.
Don't you have something else to talk about?
Like I already said, no. This is annoying. If we don't talk about something, she will be standing here like this forever. Alright, you talk then.
Huh?
Don't get me that. If I got nothing to talk about, then you just have to fill that gap, right? I got nothing to talk about, but if you talk, I will listen.
I see. That is quite right. But what should I talk about?
Anything's fine. When there's nothing else, things like your background or hobbies make for good topics. Sharing about yourself with others is the foundation of communication.
That's true.
Exposit for my entertainment.
But are you alright with something like that?
Sure, if you talk, I'll listen.
Lower down, woman.
I'm not really interested, but if this woman wants to talk, I can't stop her. Besides, no matter what kind of talk it is, it will probably be entertaining as long as it's something I don't already know.
Understood. I feel this isn't necessary for you to hear, but there might be something meaningful even in this.
After that, Karen goes silent for a short while. Probably because she isn't used to talking about her own history. She seems to enter a deep meditation while trying to recall her past in silence. In the end, it was a predictably tedious tale. She was born in a country in southern Europe and lost her parents soon after. Her father was unknown to begin with. Her mother had a weak constitution and died 1 year after her birth. Official records state she was killed by a robber, but in reality, she seemed to have taken her own life. Yeah? The church teaches suicide as transgression of the Lord's teachings. It's not a mortal sin, but those who have taken their own lives will never pass through the gates of heaven and will suffer eternal torment in purgatory. It's actually a good story. Her mother was a devout believer. In the final moments of a painful life, found a purpose great enough to rebel against the Lord. However, that purpose her mother found was meaningless to a small child. No matter how wonderful the meaning she found was for her, it didn't change the fact that she turned against the teachings of the Lord and left her child behind. Nobody was left to care for the child. Her mother had no relatives and her father didn't come forward. The prevailing opinion among the people was that her terminally ill mother had birthed a child from an unknown man like a harlot. With no relatives, the child was entrusted to the priest of a small church. Her mother was a believer that took her own life. Her child was placed in the hands of an exemplary, devout priest who looked with contempt upon the woman who had premarital sex with a passing stranger. The child was entrusted to the house of God without a single piece of luggage. However, she did have one belonging. Karen. Her mother had left her nothing but a name. The priest did not give her his family name, instead leaving it the same as the mother who committed suicide. The name was Hortensia. It's the name of a certain flower that blooms on rainy days. The girl lived with the priest for about 8 years. The priest was filled with love toward the Lord, but shared no love for the child he had taken in. He was provided funds for her upbringing, yet made her work as a servant of the church instead of sending her to school. Just by being born, the girl had sinned. She was not baptized at the time of her birth, and until baptized to welcome her into childhood, she could be given nothing of the Lord's love. The priest declared that until then, the human known as Karen could not be recognized as a child of God. However, it was questionable if this unusually strict priest could be generous enough to baptize an orphan at all. There were 2 reasons why the priest did not grant her a proper education. In order to reduce unnecessary expenses and to prevent her from gaining knowledge. Knowledge must not be given to the child of a beast. That is the first step toward wickedness, and more than anything else, it could be inconvenient in various ways if she gained the capacity to think for herself. Yeah, the church sucks, huh?
That's just kind of right on the nose, eh?
After all, defiance and exclaiming harmful truths to the masses could affect the dignity of the house of God. To pray was all the priest permitted her to do. He instructed her to give herself to God. This continued for 8 years. Maybe she became used to suffering, or maybe her emotions were broken from birth, like her father's.
Interesting.
The girl didn't think of her life as difficult. She learned of the Lord and of men by watching the priest. She perfected her innocent prayers over those 8 years. And then came the year where the girl was of age to receive baptism. Stigmata appeared on her body, and the priest accepted his defeat. He could no longer control her. He opened the gates of the church that imprisoned her and handed her over to a much larger world. The fortress-like structure of the monastery was built deep in the forest. She got her connections to the outside world and earnestly continued abiding by the teachings of the Lord in a larger prison. Stigmata, huh?
Fascinating.
It was a separate world. For the men who lived there, it embodied the very virtues of poverty, purity, and meekness that they strove for. The monastery was a self-sufficient community consisting of devout followers, and all necessities for living were made within the monastery. Hey, Wyvern! The followers made their own food and clothing, and as a modest pleasure, a small amount of wine and cheese. Detailed rules for each monastery are different, but the principles are the same. There was only labor for living and prayer for the Lord. Inside the high walls, there was a world of peace and harmony. Touched by union with God, they renounced the ways of the world and formed a close society of the chosen faithful. Naturally, that lifestyle requires more discipline than at a local church in every aspect. The girl was accepted by the Cistercian order. Among the monasteries, that place had a particularly long history and strict discipline where love of the Lord rivaled even the worth of a person's life. To eat, to work, to worship, to choose. Even those universal rights were not extended to those not loved by the Lord. By that standard, the girl did not even have basic human rights. No, her very existence was unforgivable. It was unthinkable that the venerable Cistercian order could take an orphan child into its ranks. The girl was accepted into the monastery solely because of the stigmata that dwelt within her body. To spontaneously be wounded, to bleed, and to be healed. Knowledge of this ordeal is passed down by the faithful. From the perspective of those believers who live on the other side, it was clear that the girl possessed an unusual power. When it was recognized that she was an advanced spirit medium, that she could sense the nearby drifting spirit matter, act as an intermediary, and materialize it into this world through her own flesh, the girl's value skyrocketed. That unusual ability is not something that can be cultivated with training. An ability held from birth. It is a genetic predisposition and related to the will of the individual. Such a rarity, having a high value, is only natural. Karen Hortensia's rare talent will achieve unprecedented results in a particular ritual. In light of this report, the Holy Church entrusted the young girl to the Cistercian monastery. But then again, no matter how valuable she became, the Church never bestowed the Lord's love to her. The girl was given a room, an education, and trained as an instrument of the Lord. She was taught to conduct herself as a perfect believer so that she could not bring shame upon the Church's name whenever she went outside. As a general rule, a person who entered the monastery could not live outside of it. They may move to other monasteries, but being outside of a monastery altogether was not permitted. However, she was not invited to be a Cistercian nun, an agent. She was delivered only as an armament of the Church for assistance in demon exorcisms. A weapon is intended to be guided by the hands of man. She was permitted to leave the monastery only when her unusual talents were required to make known the Lord's might. The might of the Lord was not meant to be turned toward humanity. It should be directed toward the wild ones who do not fear the Lord, the demons that threaten humanity. To manifest evil, a demon has to take over a human's body. To cleanse this person and reveals God's love to humanity was the task given to the woman. No, to the agent using the woman. She was employed by an exorcist, a special priest, one allowed to act as a representative from the bishops of the diocese. They answered calls for aid, visiting the towns of the possessed to exorcise demons. It was closer to fighting than praying. Her master frequently said to himself that the work was like washing the bottom of Hell's Cauldron. Exorcisms vary in severity, and the ones her master faced were the particularly intense ones. They did not concern themselves with imposters who blamed their own mental breakdowns on demons, or with monster outbreaks. Opponents were only the ones who had completely turned into demons. A tragedy caused by a true demon isn't something that can be endured by the human mind. All towns visited by the exorcist had deviated from the world of humans. The damage inflicted by a demon isn't limited to the possessed, but also spreads to the people around them. More than the possessed person, their spirits, rather than their bodies, are twisted into deformed monstrosities. As her master could say, it wasn't far from a tour of hell. This is quite fascinating to see how the exorcists work too.
This is really, really cool.
In an exorcism, the weak point that most easily succumbs to death is none other than one's human reason. The body's ability to survive is not that important. In the first place, the extent of a human's power cannot compete with the likes of one who has turned into a demon. The physical body is protected by a holy relic embodying the miracle of the Lord. However, the spirit must be defended by one's own will. What is required in an exorcism is ironclad faith. In that respect, too, the woman was suited for exorcism. It is probably for the best that her emotions shifted so little. It is said that the exorcism of a true demon is something that cannot be endured twice, but she continued to perform them indifferently. The woman was valued highly. She had the life of a nun and the role as an agent of the church. The workload assigned to her was nothing short of backbreaking. It probably could have overcome any normal person within a month's time. Although, as far as she was concerned, it was not much different from the daily work she used to do. For her, who couldn't really understand things like fun, virtue had become indivisible from work. Pray and work, ora et labora. It's ironic. Those words which symbolize the monastery had come to symbolize her own life as well. Fascinating.
This is really interesting on the back of the Soichiro shit.
Honestly. In short, the church handed you off to a monastery and you found your true calling.
Yes, it wouldn't be wrong to put it that way.
Karen seems to pout a little as she nods. Whoops, was she offended I summed it all up a bit too much? What is it? Did I touch a nerve?
Yes, that surprised me. It would have been better if I explained it that way from the beginning. May I use that summarized version of yours from now on?
Her admiration and proposal are both sincere. Whatever, I honestly don't get this girl at all. That's fine. You're the copyright holder. If you want to use it, then by all means, go ahead.
Thank you. What you have succinctly stated is very true.
This game introduces the scapegoat. The scapegoat can refer to that sacrificial animal upon which all sins are cast and dies from them, which could mean nothing. I do like that that is the central core theme of this VN.
Which could mean nothing.
Oh.
As a wise man once said, this game isn't about anything.
Oh.
That's vile.
Horrible. I'm not sure how to react seeing her act that pleased right after telling such a depressing story. Well, somehow I just felt that way. This woman is actually pleased with having that kind of life up to now. Well, that's fine. Since we've gone this far, I might as well hear the whole story. What do you do during an exorcism? Well, no, it's not fine. It's not, but I want to clarify this part first.
I do not do anything. I've not been granted the rights nor sacraments to exorcise a demon. I simply accompany my master.
Huh? You mean you just follow him? That's all? What the hell? Is this guy she's calling master a coward? Don't tell me he was just afraid to go to towns where the possessed were by himself.
I will not ask the reason for your sudden indignation, but the conclusion you must have carelessly reached is mistaken. Those who become exorcists do not fear demons. The only thing to fear is the shattering of one's own mind.
Huh. That's very impressive, but in that case, he'd be perfectly fine by himself, right? Wasn't there no need for him to bring you along? What about that masochistic pneumatic automatism diathesis thing you have? If you get close to demons, you get the same symptoms as someone who's possessed, right? In that case, you'd be a nuisance rather than an assistant. It's like jumping into a fire while covered in gasoline. I like that he remembered the whole thing.
Yeah, right? That is my role. to take spiritual damage. It's the shortest path to identifying the demons. Demons are not visible to the human eye. It isn't known that someone is possessed until they transform. Or rather, it's that true demons are clever, so they conceal themselves within the possessed, so as to not attract the attention of enemies until reaching maturity. They try to suppress the symptoms as much as possible.
Kinda recoded, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need Karen to meet the Tsukihime Timeline Burial Agency Kiara so bad, actually.
Unfortunately, the church has no way to exorcise a demon once fully matured. The only thing exorcists can do is find them before they are grown and exorcise them. Once they've become a demon, we have no choice but to incinerate them. The only ones able to do this are agents that specialize in heretic inquisition.
So that's your purpose. What was that, Flush?
What was that little fuzz?
1 second. I got... Oh, I see. That is the sprite of the church destroyed around her.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that shot before. A sudden emotion destabilizes me. I feel just a bit disgusted. Demons can't be seen by humans. Only the host knows he is possessed. The first and most difficult step in an exorcism is finding the demon that conceals its true identity. And for a skilled exorcist, identifying a demon is like walking on a tightrope at all times. This is where she is useful. She has an idiosyncrasy that responds lustfully to the surrounding demons and evil spirits, and causes the effects of the possession on its own. From the church's perspective, it's an extraordinary heresy. Although it could be normally a useless genetic trait that could be harmful to even let exist, there is one specific purpose for which its radical effectiveness is demonstrated. In short, this girl is a living detector that sheds blood to inform others of demons. It makes a tearing noise. It breaks her arms, crushes her legs, and rips her womb from the inside. Even if the form returns, the function does not. The sight from those dull golden eyes was lost long ago. This bell-like voice may not even resound in reality. These are her true colors. She's a messenger of God who saves others by mutilating herself until death.
Oh.
That "oh" was so loaded.
Oh my.
So that's why... I see. Her true calling was well said. No wonder you were even chosen by the Holy Shroud of Magdala. It takes some kind of reason to endure such unreasonable pain. She gives unimaginable pain to herself. Even if she doesn't want it, injuring herself is still a masochistic act. You cannot injure yourself out of hatred. Her deeds are not something that can be done without love or faith. Just asking, but can you refuse? You can't, right? You could have refused if you could.
That is also incorrect. The church is strict, but it's not inhumane. One has the right to refuse participation in an exorcism.
So why do you bother helping with the exorcisms?
Because there is meaning in it. Besides, neither outside nor inside are any different to me.
Going outside to perform exorcisms and being inside the monastery are no different. So that's it. I had thought before that she was riddled with bandages and reeked of disinfectant, but it's no wonder. A demon stings at the very heart of a human. No matter where she goes, she can't avoid getting hurt. That's total bullshit. That's not good reason to take part in exorcisms. And you have even one complaint?
I understand that I have a handicap compared to others, but that's what I was born with. There was no point in feeling bitter about it. If I was born this way, I just have to abide my fate.
But haven't you thought about curing it? If it's something like a disease, at least do something to improve your health.
No cure has been found for it, nor do I wish for one. It's enough just to be able to pity myself over my misfortune. Besides, although I certainly do become injured, those are not my wounds, but rather those of someone else. It is pity I have, rather than resentment.
Holy shit! The hell is she talking about? You're saying you're fine like this?
Yes, since I came into the world like this, it's simply the destiny I follow.
She said she will take everything as is. I can speak for how someone else might take it. This kind of thing doesn't sit well with me. What do you want out of your life?
Is a meaning in life necessary?
No, I couldn't worry about something like that. But it's like you're living to do nothing. Things like that just piss me off, you know? Someone had complained about something like this sometime or other. It was... I don't like when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. When were those words said? I couldn't call it saintly. After all, those imposters known as saints don't try to award results because it doesn't fit the equality they preach. They never speak of being rewarded in the end. That's why these are nothing but thoughtless words. It's not even hypocrisy, but a questionable naive wish.
The atmosphere has changed again, hasn't it? Only a moment ago you were frustrated, but now it's clear that you were angry.
Apparently, she can read my expressions even with her eyes closed. But unfortunately, that's not quite right. It's not that I got angry just now, but that I'm always in a bad mood when I'm here. Well, whatever. I guess since it's your policy, there was no need to speak out over every little thing. I don't like it, but have it your way.
You see, you, Miyashiro, are someone who cannot be patient.
She pushes back with a blunt tone. Is it her turn to be angry now, or did she just return to her usual self? She looks at me with conceited eyes appropriate for this church. Oh, what's that?
Nothing, really. I know someone very similar to you, so I just compared you with him. Although he is someone who can be patient. Although you two would not agree on anything, you do have some interesting points in common.
Look at that smirk. She grins broadly. I don't think it's appropriate for a substitute priest to flaunt her malicious intent. I don't understand what you're saying. It's nothing I have in common with this guy, you know, right?
Everyone knows except the person themselves. Isn't that just how it goes? Miyashiro is a good man who kills his own desires and cannot forgive the irrationality of the world. Whereas the other man is a villain who embraces his own desire and ignores the injustice of the world. Even though you are polar opposites, you have far too much in common. Just like a demon appearing through opposing mirrors.
An unpleasant smile appears on her face. I figured out something. Karen has even less individuality than I do, but she gets excited at the idea of robbing someone's weak spot the moment she discovers it. Traveling part is how effective her nose for this stuff is. This woman uses her unmatched senses to sniff out the scars of others. So who's this polar opposite of mine?
He's a figure from an old tale. In a certain land, there was a sinner that shouldered the sins of everyone in the land and received punishment for them until his death. He was a very virtuous young man, but he was chosen to be the sinner simply by chance. It was an act carried out by the will of man, but because the people did not directly choose it, it might be said to be the will of heaven.
The will of heaven, huh? He was imprisoned and abused because of something like that? There's no doubt he'd hold a grudge against the world.
No, the grudge he held only lasted for a few years. In the end, he forgave all of mankind. He watched the world change over a long time. Undoubtedly, he forgave them all.
His hatred didn't last long? Come on, that's just what his assailants would like to think, right?
That's likely right. The hatred that has taken root in him can already be called eternal. Hating humans is as natural to him as breathing is to us. As the kind of eternity he's become. Entity he's become. Sorry?
Don't worry.
That hatred is no longer an emotion, but a way of life. Like that, he affirmed everything. The world deserves to be hated. There are an endless variety of humans, so whatever happens can't be irrational. Do as you like, since I will offset the irrationality with hatred. He forgave many events and the evil desires of the masses, saying, even that is fine.
That's really amazing. That's not just a good guy, that's a saint.
Not quite. Sometimes affirming everything becomes the greatest evil. Do you not understand? Forgiving everything is to simplify it all by reasoning. The strong are strong, and the weak are weak. Moreover, he praises an individual's desires. He says, do what you think is good for yourself, having no concept of good and evil. He simply affirms all things as they are.
What a troublesome person, Karenats. That certainly is troublesome. A mindset like that could end up endorsing crime. Isn't that guy bad? Perhaps a representative of God, so go haul him in before it's too late. Come on, you gotta use something like that, Red Cloth. Capture was its specialty.
Rest assured, there's no need to capture him. He is indeed a dreadful being, but leaving him be is probably fine. He is, fundamentally, incompetent and harmless.
Didn't you just say something really cruel?
I've simply stated the truth. At any rate, because of his passive nature, he's quite lazy. He doesn't have the initiative to carry out evil acts.
That's alright then. So where are this guy and I alike?
You don't understand? Really? Despite simply being a matter of hating the world despite loving it, or loving the world despite hating it, you don't see that you two, despite being so fundamentally different, merely have the order reversed?
I'm asking because I don't understand, or so I was about to say, but it seemed like a waste of time. I didn't come to talk about this sort of thing to begin with. I just came here on a whim, listening to her talk as she pleased. I have no obligation to rack my brains over some uncomfortable doubt like this. Question, why did we start talking about this? It's obvious now that Karen's switch has been flipped. This contrived shift in behavior is something I've seen often with Tosuka Ren.
I'm surprised. You don't understand this either? You are really quite thick-headed, aren't you?
If you mean I'm bad at picking up on others' feelings, I agree. So, what's your reason for pissing me off?
Unbelievable. Very well, I will answer this one. That just now was payback for selfishly examining me.
Examining? I haven't even tried imagining what's underneath that unfashionable robe of hers, but it's like you're living to do nothing. Well, I may have offended her by saying something that was a bit too on the nose. In any case, I think staying here any longer could be even more uncomfortable. I'm going home. Go catch some random guy in the park if you want to talk so much. A simple matter of going whoosh with that red cloth of hers.
As I said, I cannot go outside very often. You don't have any spare time?
I did until I met you, but now I don't have time to mess around. You've given me an objective for the time being. Karen responds in comprehension. That's right. I figured out my path from here on. I socialize with her because she's a valuable source of information, but I should hurry back if there are no more leads. See you! If I come by again, try to at least be a little more helpful.
I promise. If you have lost your way the next time you come, I will guide you to the correct path. In exchange, please tell me one more time. Why do you wish to resolve this anomaly?
That's... well... then, why is it exactly? Why am I obsessed with the resolution of this anomaly? Even though after the 4th day it will be as though nothing ever happened anyway. No, that...
It was a foolish question, wasn't it? I was the one who said you were an impatient person. For a Miyashiro, it was only natural to extend a hand to someone in need.
Oh, with a poof, all doubt vanishes. Now that she mentions it, that's right. Because it was something I didn't need to think twice about. It probably wasn't even a reason at all. I can't believe it. But those are the kinds of thoughts that fill this head of mine. I stand up to leave. She looks at me as though she still has something to say.
Do you dislike this place so much? Or perhaps city life is more stimulating?
That's off right. I hate this place, but compared to wandering around town, well, at least it has some new flavor. They say you'll get tired of even a feast if you don't try different foods now and then. It's simply enough to have my everyday normal life to go back to. Things like excitement and passion can come later, when I've forgotten about them. That's just how it is. I can stomach either you or this place, but I'll come again if I feel like it. See ya. I started walking toward my daily life.
Is your everyday life fun, Miyashiro?
Who knows? It's not so intensely fun that I need to give special thanks for it. I have to confess, rather than calling it fun, it's also dazzling. It's sometimes a little painful. Ooh. I leave that foul church behind. With the organ's venom fading, I can finally think straight again. Karen said it's only natural for a Miyashiro to save someone. Huh? But still, just who am I trying to save? Fascinating. No.
Fuck.
Game? Hi?
Hello?
There we go. Oh, that is fascinating.
What a great session today. Hey,
Also,
we
one
have
moment.
gotten peak.
One final thing. We did get a final,
Oh, we got one with Archer, didn't we?
Is it this one?
Is that it?
This may be it. It's,
Interesting.
everyone is here. It's all of them.
I don't think I've seen this one before. I do like that Ryder is she's just screaming.
Yeah, baby. Let me
I need
check.
that, but photoshopped with like her holding like a burger in front of her.
I don't quite think there's any other new ones, no. And the completion percentage is at 88.4%. We're approaching the 90 mark. Ooh, baby!
This game is so good. It's so good.
Every time. How do
Every
they do it?
What if we had a dozen layers of unreliable narrator?
We had, we had an extremely impactful like Kuzuki and Merea backstory for both of them that was really poignant and beautiful written. We had a really nice moment of bonding with Shira and Ilya, and the dread of knowing that the next day everything just fucking fades away. We had
I'm really glad that we got the Karin backstory in the same read as the Kazuki backstory, because they had some really interesting parallels back to back.
Honestly. Oh. It's so like you feel it in the way that you see these backstories, like the intent, right? Like it's not just that these are really good backstories, but we had Ryder and the monster that she didn't want to become desperately, and the whole thing with Angramine there. We have Kuzuki's past as a tool for murder, and Merea as just being made to become a foul witch.
It is all broken people who have been made to serve a purpose or play a role that they might not have wanted, but were meant for in one way or another. That is really interesting in the ways that they do and don't diverge from those paths. I think that the final shit with Kazuki was insanely good. Like, the whole, like, he realizes at the very end, oh, wait, I felt things this entire time. I buried it for nothing. Whoops.
Yep.
Like,
and it's so good.
God. Fuck, it's so good. Fuck, it's so good.
And you know what I'm thinking also about all of these bits
what are
and bobs?
You thinking?
I am thinking that I didn't forget. I am thinking about the kinda way that this story is pushing for and leaning with everyone talking about this, and that is, what are you trying to solve, Shiramiya? It's Castor going like, I understand what is going on now, but I can't just say it, because if I say it, suddenly I'm like moving things ahead, and I don't want to do that, and I want to just be a bystander, and I have this connection I have with Kazuki. It's Ryder having that I will become a monster, but I want to stay here with Sakura. It's it's that idea of this is a paradise. This is a little slice of life place where everyone can live together and they're happy. They're happy like this. And they don't want it to end, but also we're moving toward that ending. And it is like, what is the meaning in the end of the story for these characters?
And not to mention also the whole, like, oh, you saw someone in need and extended a hand to save them. And the wrap-up of, like, but who exactly am I trying to save? That one's got gears turning in my brain. Also, just want to say this, that's definitely Kirei's daughter. Like, they all but told me. I'm now certain.
They basically... Okay, do you want me to confirm or deny that assumption?
Yeah, of course.
That is, in fact, true. But also, 1 second. In the
true me is, and you drew me as her in the thumbnail as well.
So I'm going to send you now in the art book for Stay Night, and also featured in Fate Zero. We do get to see Claudia Hortensia.
Wow.
She is someone who I could not have shown you before you knew, because the moment you see her is like, oh yeah, like that is if this is Kirai's wife, like obviously this is fucking the mom.
I'm gripping you by the shoulders. My nails are digging in. Whack, that's his fucking daughter. Oh my god. Oh my god, I fucking love Fate so goddamn much.
Also, can I just say that there's something really fascinating about the idea of Karen is giving herself so fully and completely to this cause that she doesn't mind the agony and suffering that she goes through, and seems to almost embrace it happily as she goes through. And this could change if we get like more of her character and we realize that we're giving her like a chance at being something else, right? But as it stands, she has on her own found an answer that Kirei himself could not be able to.
Yeah.
Kirei
I'm
was
just realizing
haunted.
that I'm really short on time and kind of have to get scooting.
Yeah,
But
I
thank you very much for the read. Thank you very much, chat, for watching, and I'm so fucking excited for next week.
I was pushing hard at that end to just end that scene as fast as possible.
I will catch you guys later.
Bye-bye, hon, we loved you.
Bye-bye, I love you too.
Anyway, now I can use fucking, Karen's mom and Kirei as the sidebars for the next episode. Karen is exactly like Lancer. Kirei was like him too, obviously, but Karen really is like him. Jesus. Can I show Anya the baby? What is the baby? I don't know what the baby is. Certain loveliness to the fact that despite the fact it took death to make him realize he had those feelings, but based on his talk with Taiga, Shoichiro is working to that emotion. Yeah. God, there's so much going on. Everything's so good. Remember to give Kirei the sensor bar over his eyes. Oh, that's so true. It was the best that coffee mug. Oh, super Karen, baby. You can do that, I guess, yeah? I can't wait to actually get more of this so I can show her the absolute goblin that she is in FGO. And by extension, on Capsule Servant, I think? Ironic, Kirei abandoning him was actually the best thing he could have done for Karen. Yeah. I don't really want to go too in depth about this without Anya being here because she, I want her to be here for this kind of discussion and it's something pertinent. Never mind, I completely forgot. I was reading chat and the thought I had for something relevant and poignant just fucking disappeared. One moment. Okay, so Ichiro. I really like the structure of Hollow Ataraxia. It is what Karen mentioned about how this all is fragments of something that could be, and it's not meaningless, even though, it's still a fan disc in that sense. And it is like, okay, once again, I don't speak about it too much lately because, it's a fandom I'm not really into that much anymore, but I was an avid Homestuck person, and I am someone who has very much experienced the whole multiple timelines showcasing different aspects of a character, and even though maybe we don't end up with the one unified timeline that you would want, you still get this completeness of what a character's like ultimate arc and everything is by just piecing together everything they are and can be and have been in various different scenarios. And that is fascinating. Like, Kuzuki's fucking dead in every single one of the canonical Fate Stay Night timelines. But in this timeline where he's not, it's really nice seeing him working to be like a actual husband with her, and it's beautiful. Ah, it's so good. Candy timeline, meat timeline thing. It's literally that. No, it's literally that. The Bazette sections and Angramayanu, it's literally the meat and the plot, and then you have the candy with the fluff and the things on the side, and you have the fluff itself is meaningless, but it gives character to the story, and it's something that the people really want to see, and it's important for the development and the breathing of a story. And then you have the meat, which is the plot, the advance of things, the exciting things, but you can't just pack everything. Oh no, Wedge, we just saw Kazuki fucking get murderized in the Fate timeline in this one. We just saw today the fate of Kazuki in the Fate timeline. He does not survive a single one of them. But yeah, it is really, really nice seeing this very same concept explored. Meat and candy, plot and fluff, the fan service with the two-sided fan service. We have both the character interactions, sheepy things going on, which adds to the characters and is part of their development and showcasing to the audience what these people can be like and feeding them what they want. But you also have the Archer and Saber get to fight each other, and it's really cool. And Saber gets to launch herself through the fucking air like an arrow. That's really fucking amazing. And in the same way, you have the importance of the fights and the important thing with like the last night and the creatures, with also the more subdued plot and character moments that are just like really relevant to understanding things that are not action based. Like you have everything. What is the intention with the Himura Eclipse scene? Pre or post finale? We may go post finale depending. We have heard that that is a whole thing that could last an entire session. I know it's not safe for work, or at least it's not like outright sexual. It may still have some like not safe for work talk because it's in the Eclipse section, I don't know. But it doesn't have anything explicit to see. I just think it could break the pacing now. This is not something we have agreed on. I can ask Annie about it. Safe for work but long, yeah. Post-finale fits better, yeah. It's just a really long scene, yeah. Yeah. I think in the moment we are at right now, where all we have to do is one scene in Ilias and everything else is plot, we kinda could break the pacing by examining the Himura one. Maybe the 4 months of Hanafuda. Okay, what are you? Okay, what are you? Do you have story, is the question. Or is this just Oh god almighty. Oh god almighty. Oh no. It has story. No. Oh no. Please don't make me play Hanafuda. I'm fine learning, but like, come on. What do you mean, novel phantasm details? What? Wait, there's, wait, hold up, I raised my hand, wait, there is Ilya, but also Taiga Dojo Ilya, as different characters in this game. Shiro, Rin, Sakura, Ilya, Kazuki, Hirei, fucking Taiga Dojo Ilya. This is Sella, actually. Fucking my boy Shinji, Karen, Vazet, fucking Zoken? And Yukika? Why is Yukika here? This game has like 3 mini Taiga Dojo's worth of mini content. Okay, it's not that much, it's just like something fun and silly. Oh my god. Oh dear God Almighty.
チュートリアルのお時間です。どうかしばらくお付き合いください。講義はもちろん花札について、リーゼリットもよく聞くように。わかった。
I love their little sprites actually.
花札は1月
Okay, so this is an actual. Oh wait, I cannot. I can check this out on my own time to learn how to play Hanafuda. Oh, this is in bulbs. Wait, this is in bulbs. Wait, it is a.
覚悟はよろしいですか？それではチュートリアルを開始します。中央にある場札からどちらか1枚をお選びください。
Stop. My ears. Oh, you got the reduced version. Oh, my ears. Oh, you got the version with the limiter on. Oh. I am a broken husk of a woman. Ow. You need to do Hanafuda to get enough money for really expensive Emmas. So you had to subject yourself to it. I will do it. I will do this off stream. And either record the actual scenes with plot or just remember them to talk about them. And I know there's a remake confirmed for later. You can just do fortune for money. That's also fair. Ow, my ears. I think I need to go. That last one killed me. It is way too late for this, and my ears were not ready to start bleeding like that. I'm glad Anya is not here right now. She doesn't deserve being blasted like that. None of you deserve that. Now, without further ado, because we had a lot of fucking narration and voices, and my throat is not doing well. On Sunday, I will be destroying my voice even more by doing Deltarune Chapter 3, the first part of that. Next week, more Thursday, Sudani and Anya in Certain Time. Next Friday, more of this. I really want to get a proper shot of Angramainu without the shadows, so I can post my cool thumbnail without the shadow blurring me out. But until then, it has been lovely as usual, chat. Thank you so much for being here, even while there was a Summer Games thing going on. We'll be seeing you next time. Bye-bye!